Hello, comic book party people, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
Happy New Year to all of you. Happy New Year to you, Tiffany.
Happy New Year.
Well, thank you very much. And yeah, this is a comic book show where we take books in the past week, recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think that you should check out here on ComicPop Returns. If you like this show or this channel, you should subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and of course, give this video a like. It helps us out a little bit. If you would like to help us out a little more directly, you can always go to patreon.com/comicpop and support us there, just in case YouTube decides to demonetize the entire network that is ComicPop. Not saying that's going to happen, just saying, let's cover our butts. Try and help us out.
That's right.
But if you want to help us out more directly on this particular episode, if you are watching the show live, normally this show is live on Mondays between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, this show is live on Tuesday night at midnight because that's when we got to do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So those of you who are watching right now are the lucky few who are catching this way later. So maybe you're from Australia or the British Isles or just the West Coast of the United States. Who knows? But we're lucky to have these probably new or newer members of the live audience today. If you're new or you haven't caught the show live, you can support the show directly by using Super Chats. We'll ask a question or comment here on the show, or you'll do that, and we'll read it here on the show, and then it'll be here as part of the show forever. If you are listening to the show on Spotify, make sure to give us a good rating if you can do that. Over on Spotify, it's Off the Rack reviews, I believe, and Podbean and whatnot. Anyway, a lot of books came out, but before we do that, New Year.
Yeah.
New Year, same comic pop.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, same great taste.
Hopefully.
With half the fat.
We can't make that promise.
Actually, with me,
holiday we had.
No, it's true. Yeah, more like twice the fat.
It's
But
what it feels like.
all right, it's not you though. It's all me. But yeah, I'm excited for the new year. I have no good reason to think that besides just optimism.
Yeah. No, listen. See what it brings. I after the past few years, I'm just kind of like, I want there to be hype, and if you have hype, hang on to that hype, enjoy that hype. I'm just not. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. I want to give you hype. I want to tell you like we've got some big plans, but like we had big plans for 2020.
Well, how about this? We're hopeful. We're gonna do stuff. The bare minimum, you're gonna get what we were doing before.
Right. At the very least, you will get the same that you like.
But the hope is maybe
More.
some more.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I was trying to make. I'm like, yeah, hi. No, seriously, I'm excited for ComicPop in 2023.
Me too.
For the rest of the 2023, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from it.
No.
I don't know what to expect anymore from years. But you know what? Like I said, if you have hype, hang on to it, enjoy it.
Yes.
I'm here for your
It.
energy.
Yeah, I'm expecting us to. We'll probably do another event at Joe Kubert's.
That'd be great.
I'd like to do that. I know that the people at the Kubert School were really excited to have us, and I've been asked on 3 non-consecutive occasions, like, when are we going to work that out? So I'm excited to do that. So if you missed us the last time, maybe we'll do that.
Hopefully we'll get another chance.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And when we set that up, we will let you know way ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So you can make your arrangements. Just know that when that happens, it is in scenic Dover, New Jersey. And so it is not necessarily worth like a plane ride.
No. This is like, hopefully you're in the area.
Or you may want to take a drive, or a train ride.
But don't go crazy. It's just a little thing, and it's just gonna be us talking.
Mm-hmm.
You just won't have a couple computer screens and the internet between it. That's
it's true.
So we'd love to have you, but again,
we'll work that out.
Don't break the bank for this one.
Oh no,
at all.
No. Do that when we have the hats on sale.
Break that bank.
Yeah. Otherwise, new channel, ComicPop Plays. We got new video game streams. The Spider-Man PS4 game is being streamed, or at least re-uploaded to that channel.
I guess I should stream over there.
I think so.
Terrified of doing that, I'll be honest.
I think that'd be great. By the way, Brian Rollins in the Super Chats, Off the Rack After Dark. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, you too, Brian. Thank you.
I really like the comment underneath that.
Yeah, Sal and Tiffy talking comics nights.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Agreed. Any other updates? Any other big news?
I got no news
from the world of ComicPop.
No.
Grayson Red vibes in this bit.
That's right.
Agreed.
That's right. We're gonna get some vibes.
Yeah. The I-Man Kal-El data. Hi, ComicPop. I just wanted to wish everyone there a happy new year, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. Thank you very much.
Yeah, seriously.
Thanks for the support, man. Let me tell you, this holiday season was friggin' dope. Like, we had a great time.
I think so too.
You know?
Yeah, it was a good holiday.
It was a very good holiday. It was a solid holiday. We had a solid day. We had a great time, and you know, one for the books, one to remember. It was a good also litmus test. Like, I want to try and like hit that high every holiday.
No, it was good. I hope you had a great holiday as well, if not a busy one. Ours was good. It was busy.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh man, I got days off from work. It's gonna be like totally relaxing. And then we did like 3 hosting things. So
Yep.
it was like bam, 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 bam. And
Yeah.
then like New Year's and like it was all good. It was all lovely vibes. But I was like, where did the time go?
Yeah. And there is no time.
Nah, there's no time. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It was too much fun. So much fun.
Right? Somebody asked if you're going to do any horror games.
I would like to do more horror games. I really would, but like comic book games keep coming out. So then I'm like, well, gotta play that. Like we're
Right.
doing Midnight Suns right now.
Yeah.
Something else is coming out at the end of this month, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta get that.
Ooh, yeah.
What the hell was it? I'll figure it out.
But you still have God of War to play.
I know.
Just, and I'm saying that only for your benefit. I know you like that
I wanna
series.
play it so badly.
And that's all on twitch.tv/ComicPop. Or if you want to help us out, you can go to Twitch or youtube.com/ComicPop Plays. Watch us play that. But yeah, let's talk about some new books that came out this week that we think that you should, or at the very least that we read. I read Amazing Spider-Man number 16 from Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness. And yeah, that was the thing I read.
That's awesome.
Ta-da. I honestly don't remember a single thing about it. And I read it like literally yesterday. So that's not a good sign. Let me pull it up right now.
Okay, that's fine. I also want to say apologize for the audio sync issue.
Yeah, we have no control over that, so it's
We
really
actually
weird.
don't. We don't have any control
We actually
over that.
pay like good money so that we don't have those issues. We don't have to deal with it anymore.
Right. I'm not sure what it is, but I do want to apologize for that.
Yes, that is entirely my apologies as well.
You don't have to, you know, just listen to it. You don't have to look
No, it's true.
at us.
Was this this week? Oh my god. Feels like I read this weeks ago.
Well, you could have, because I've got things from both weeks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
This could be any time. You don't know.
Yeah, well, this one is from December 28th is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
This one saw Spider-Man fight Chasm finally. And yeah, Chasm was like ready to give Spider-Man the business. Let me tell you, you know, and Spider-Man has absolutely zero sympathy for him, or at least he attempted to make, you know, that point heard. Like, listen, I feel bad for you. He does the whole like, I wish I didn't have to fight you, but you're being a jerk, so I guess I'll fight you. And so they do. Maddie sends Venom to the treehouse while All Hallows Eve teams up with Maddie to do her deal, which is we finally get to see her like powers in action, where she puts on like the Frankenstein mask. So dumb. I'm sorry. I have no reverence for it. It's so dumb looking. But yeah, it's, I mean, like, in as much as like I feel bad for Ben, and Peter clearly does too. But Ben, this is like, okay, there's a moment where he says, I have all the power and none of the responsibility. And I'm like, that's literally the tagline from the Kane book. Like,
it should have just been Kane.
Why isn't this Kane?
I don't know.
Like, why did you do that? And I think I know why. And I think it's because they think they have data that says like people don't care about Kane, despite the Scarlet Spider series being so revered and having sold like upwards in like the you know, multi digits.
Yeah.
As its own series. But we do know people will care if we do it to Ben, despite the fact that like Ben literally couldn't sell his own book, except for that like very very mini Spider-Man book by DeMatteis. That's just a flashback book.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, so Ben reveals that he has Robbie Robertson and J. Jonah Jameson, and that they're in limbo, and all he has to do to get them is to ask to be sent to limbo, which Peter immediately does, and then is picked up by a tentacle monster and sent to limbo. When he arrives in limbo, he finds himself as Peter Parker and forced to be like working at what appears to be like a hellish Daily Bugle.
Okay.
And that's the issue.
Okay.
It was just it read very fast, and it's not terribly consequential, but it did exist. And you know, I like Ed McGuinness's art in the right book on the right project.
Yeah.
Spider-Man has never been a good project for McGuinness.
Okay.
And it's never more prevalent than in this issue.
Oh.
Just a real shame.
Sorry.
It's fine. You know, I mean, what do I expect? Like, I'm not like.
What do I expect?
That's it.
I know what you expect.
It's what I hope for. I don't expect it anymore, but I do. Like, you know, that's where we are.
Okay.
You know, it was another issue of this. You know, I don't know. I can't imagine trying to read this in a trade where it's like, okay, next issue, like, you know, next, turn the page, and it's like, oh Ben, I feel bad for you. Oh, well, you shouldn't feel bad for me. I'm gonna freaking kick your ass. Oh my god, no, don't kick my ass. Yeah, I'm totally gonna do it. Oh man, oh, you know what's gonna happen if you kick my ass? What's gonna happen, Ben? What would happen? I'm gonna make Robbie and Jameson get tortured by stuff, and you know, like evil razor scooter demons. What? No, don't do that. Yup, I'm gonna do it. Oh.
Well,
The issue. $6. You're welcome.
Well, yeah. Hey, you wrote a heck of an issue there, sir. Right now, live.
Yeah.
Pretty
Whoa. No, I didn't write that. That's Zeb Wells' book. You give him credit for that one.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. I also read Action Comics 1050. It's from Philip Kennedy Johnson and of course Josh Williamson, and Tom Taylor, and Clayton Henry, Nick Dragotta, and Mike Perkins. It's a little indication of like what's to come in the future of Superman.
Sure.
And it's positive, really fun, really good stuff.
Okay.
Just no complaints. I really enjoyed it. They put the genie back. They're just washing the Bendis taste out of their mouths. J. Jonah Jameson. Lex Luthor kidnaps Manchester Black and like basically just drains him of all of his power and uses it to create a like post-hypnotic suggestion across the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember who Superman is, you will get violently sick. Like his secret identity.
Okay.
So the identity's back in the bottle.
Okay.
And
What
Perry
about Lois?
Not Lois, because no, they did a whole thing where like they built a dome over Lois and John's house. So John, the boyfriend, and Lois were all there, so they're good. They were at the Kent's house, so like Ma and Pa, they're good too. Batman was good.
Okay.
The Justice League were good.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just everyone you didn't want.
So some of okay.
Yeah, no, it's
All right.
great. I
All
loved
right.
it. It is a straight up, unabashed retcon. Just a straight up like it's a Purple Man Daredevil in the bottle kind of thing.
Sure. All right.
And I'm here for it. No complaints. I didn't want them to do it in the first place. So them undoing it, I'm like, bravo! Any version.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about like Superman and Batman having to relearn each other's names or anything like
Sure.
that. It's
Sure,
all
sure.
good. We're all good. We're back to normal.
Good.
Perry White is like, you know, he's the first casualty because he like shows up
no.
for like dinner and like Clark arrives as Superman. He's like, hey, Perry. And Perry's like, why are you dressed like that? And Superman's like, because I'm Superman, Perry. And he's like, whoa! And he goes to the hospital. And they're like, oh my God. It's amazing.
So did Superman know about this?
He just finds out about it.
Okay.
And then he goes to Lex and he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. He also reveals he has a new power, which is like, I'm
Does-
really fast. and I
Does
can, like,
Lex also
teleport.
get sick?
No, Lex is the one who does it in the first place. So he's
Oh,
he's
sorry.
fine. No, he's like, I don't want to share you. I don't want people to have to know who you are. It's bullshit. You can't pretend like to be a human being.
What? Okay.
Or you have to pretend to be a human being. I don't know. It's fun. I'm like, yeah, works for me.
Sure.
It's a really fun issue. Great cover too.
That's nice. Hey, that cover is gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Holy crap.
Yeah, no complaints there. What about you, Tivi?
I'm not going to go super into it just because I don't know how many people really care about it, but I still want to bring it up. We were at the comic book store, and since we didn't do the show last time,
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't look at the comics that were coming up because I was just in like full holiday mode.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw this, and I was like, what?
What? There's a new Sandman book out? Oh, crap.
Man, it's the Dead Boy Detectives.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's like, if you read Sandman, you know who they are. And if you didn't, you're like, maybe that sounds neat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say it does help if you read Sandman. We were at the store and someone asked about like what you needed to read. And at the time I was like, oh, probably just this. And then I read a little more into it. I was like, that and maybe like volume 9.
Yeah.
Oops. Because there's another character that shows up in that. And I was like, oh, but I hadn't looked at it. I literally picked it up and I was like, oh, if you want to know about the Dead Boy Detectives, you just need to kind of read that.
Yeah.
There's a whole other thing you could read, but really from Sandman, you could grab just the one volume that they're in and probably be able to figure it out.
Good.
But just so you know, this is written by Pornsak Pichot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that correctly. I looked it up. They're writer of Infidel and The Good Asian. and with art by Jeff Stokely. It's got a super specific style to it, but in the world of Sandman, I think it very much fits. This is going, I don't know which direction this is going, because this first issue was really just like, this issue had a lot to do, because it's clearly like trying to be like, hi, if you're a fan of Sandman, you already know who these characters are, but then recognizes too that everyone may not know who the Dead Boy Detectives are, and so maybe there's a little work they need to do. So we're doing a bit of like establishing of like who they are,
smart,
and what they're doing right now and what world that they live in, and so we get a lot of that background in here. So like in Sandman, I always their story is like sad and also scary in terms of just humanity scary, you know what I mean? Like, there's like scary images and like things that happen, but like people are scary, you know, and like that stuff, like I'm just like, yeah, they are. That's yes.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, man, like having nothing to do with it, because I believe Pete Choate is Thai American.
Yes.
So like when I say this, don't just take me as like trying to like merge things together, but I'm specifically thinking of something. But then like, so like I'm like, ooh, humanity's scary, that's scary. But then I'm also like, ooh, Junji Ito, the horror, that like that is also very scary.
Yes.
Like super duper scary. And we get some of that, like things are also super duper scary in this, but tied to Thai myth.
Oh, okay.
As well, which, you know, listen, we're talking about ghosts and demons and stuff like that. It could be from wherever. I don't.
Right.
It's
and if
fine.
you are that, maybe write what you know, I guess.
Yeah. So like, I'm like super interested, because like out of the gate, the first 2 pages, they're like,
it's like,
this is what you're here for.
Boom.
And I'm like,
yes,
okay,
I am
here for that. Yes.
Got me.
And then the next page after that is like, hey, do you remember like if you read Sandman, do you remember the character Thessaly? Because if you do,
they're in this.
She's a bitch. She's a big jerk, for sure. And that's just my take on her. Hot take. But she's in this as well. So we are tying, not only just taking it to the Dead Boy Detectives, but also we're going to pull Thessaly into this world. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I love the cover of this so much.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a couple of other artists I follow, but not who I thought it was. But like, if you're interested in the Dead Boy Detectives, different vibe, because different writer. You're not going to get Gaiman vibe off of this, but it's still fun, interesting, and that paranormal Sandman world. So you can check it out if you like. I just want to let you know
if you like
that it came out, because that caught me by surprise as well, and I thought it was very interesting that they put it on that week. Because I feel like books that came out last week got it rough a little bit, you know, like some of these books, you know, people were traveling, people aren't around, and I'm like, that hurts numbers. Now, of course, something like this, I'm sure they know that there's a select group of people who are going to be interested in this, just like I did not read Historia because I want to read it in physical, and I didn't realize it was coming out. We haven't been to the comic book store.
I didn't even see it on the
well, the comic book store we were at, I didn't see it there at all, so I'm gonna have to go find it.
Yes.
But I was like, oh my gosh, that came out, and I kind of came to that conclusion that since it was issue 3 of Historia, that this is Wonder Woman Historia that I'm talking about, that at this point you're probably not jumping on with new readers, and so either someone has it in their pull list or the stores already know how many to order. So I was like, I guess it's fine to be putting out in this week, but I thought a new number 1 at the end of the year, like the last week right before we switched to 2023, I was like, that's rough. It's rough. Anyway. I read that.
No, it's all right. I read She-Hulk number 9 from Rainbow Rowell and Miyazawa. This one is remember when I was talking about those like gamma couple that are literally featured on the top left-hand corner of the book right there on the cover? She-Hulk is captured by them along with Jack of Hearts. They tell her she's not like deserving of her stuff. Remember the ending of the show?
Yeah.
It's that.
Oh, okay.
It's literally that.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah. Where like she goes, wait a minute, this is stupid. Like they're stealing her blood. They're gonna be the real Hulks or the true Hulks, or she doesn't deserve it. She's the perfect Hulk because she has all the brain, all the brain and the brawn, none of the savagery.
Hulk did that too.
Yep, literally
You can't even act like it's not like he's ever done that.
I know.
He did that too.
Yeah, but it's inconsistent. She's mostly been this the whole time, and it's like it's very meta in as much as it tries to criticize the like directions that the character has been taken in the past, while also like acknowledging why people say they like her in the first place, but why they didn't buy her books. And then she like gets upset because she's looking at you, the reader / the publisher, and she yells at them, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. It's still a fun little book, but everything that I would expect to happen in this book is happening.
Okay.
Like oh, we brought back Jack of Hearts, but conveniently enough, nobody's talked to him, so he can go away.
Or
and
actually
she can...
secretly a ghost. He's
Well,
not even
no, I don't even think it's. I think it's
there.
maybe more sad, where it's like, no, he basically only came back to life to like hook up with Jen and then go away, and so the Marvel universe at large doesn't need to know that Jack of Hearts came back, and they don't have to deal with him anymore.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, not like I'm really looking for justice for Jack of Hearts. It's just kind of like seems a little weak.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, this book consistently like it went from like really strong to like meh.
Okay.
You know, and again, not bad, just meh.
I want to also address, yes, for I forgot there's another way you might know the Dead Boy Detectives. They're an episode of Doom Patrol.
Ah,
Also, they're getting their own show.
what?
Yeah, I saw that
Is
someone.
this a spinoff from Doom Patrol?
You know that girl on YouTube, Caitlin Riley, who does like those, like she creates those shorts and TikToks. If you know her from TikTok as well, she does those shorts of people that you don't want to know as a human being, like be like
Yeah, of course.
Her.
Yeah.
She has been cast as a recurring character.
What?
I was like,
That's awesome.
Who's she gonna be?
Yeah, good for her. And also, ladies and gentlemen, the dream is real. Do enough TikTok, and you could be in a comic book movie
I
adaptation.
know she's someone. She's someone's kid.
Oh, so it's a nepo baby.
I think. I don't know that for sure. And don't.
Yeah, don't at
I'm
me.
not trying to create drama.
Yeah,
at
you're not
all,
trying to diminish
because trust
her.
me, I've seen her work.
She's great. She deserves her work.
She does characters in shorts that I'm like, I don't want to meet that person. Like
Yeah.
she's like it's so good. But yeah, they're going to be doing a show at the Dead Boy Detectives as well.
Yeah.
So this is probably why there's a book coming out. Someone also asked, like, didn't a bunch of those Sandman comics get canceled? So you're thinking of when they brought the Sandman universe to being, yes, a bunch of those books ended up getting canceled or like ended. But they've added 2 more now that are directly related to Sandman a little more so. I mean, they're all related there, but the Corinthian is coming out that because the Sandman show, so that got a boost from that. And then this one, I think, probably was on the docket. If they're thinking about doing the show, they're probably trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Anyway.
I read Nightwing number 99. This is from a couple weeks ago, but it is Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. It's good. That's all.
Okay, I like that cover.
Oh yeah, every cover.
Not every cover is great, but that one I really do like.
Yeah, no, it was great. Basically just like Nightwing is being proactive. He's doing his thing. He's teamed up with his sister. She's changed her name from Zuko to Grayson. They faced Tony Zuko in a similar like Batman Joe Chill kind of fashion. And so Nightwing like deals with his demons and like kind of moves forward. It's just more character work and more like consistency with the tone and the direction, where like Nightwing goes to Bloodhaven and goes like, I am gonna fix this crappy city. And it's like, if a person who has the reach, the friend like Rolodex and the gumption as Dick Grayson were to do that, they would probably be pretty successful at it. And he is. It's just almost a history of things going pretty well for your protagonist, and I'm here for it. Nice, positive book.
So nice.
No complaints about
that so much.
Yeah, no, I just dig it. I will also mention.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I got a couple. You're gonna.
Oh yeah, we'll go for it.
Would you want to read a?
Oh, a super chat?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to read a super chat? In fact, I would love to read about 10 more super chats. Alas, we only have a few.
Oh my gosh, stop. No, you guys are great.
No,
you don't have to worry
I'm kidding.
about
I really am. I'm just sounding like a shill. Coronet Chris was about to head to bed, been surprised to see you all live. I have to catch the upload later, but before I head off, I'll send a super chat your way. Well, thank you very much, Coronet Chris. And here's a little tidbit about me. I played the cornet in middle school.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What?
You never told me that. The cornet, you put the cornet, not the clarinet?
No, the cornet is a small trumpet.
No, the cornet's a curvy horn.
Well, the music group that I had the trumpet for called it a cornet.
Oh, maybe it is. I'm not musically
inclined. It was like a small trumpet. Memento Mori. Any love for Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, the show? I'm not a big fan of the show.
I think
with the current run, I am digging on it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right?
No, it's good.
David R. I love the shows. Kind of shouted ComicPop out to YouTube's favorite creative group. Hopefully that's okay. Of course it's okay.
That's okay.
Please. No, God.
Thank you.
For the love of God.
You're great.
Please tell them.
And thank you.
Because we need all the help we can get when it comes to like reach and influence.
It's very kind of you to think
but
of us.
I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And again, apologies for the rant. We're having some weird audio video sync issues. It's like coming and going, so we apologize for that. But hopefully it's not too bad and you guys can stick around. Like I said, you don't have to look at us. You can just listen to us.
Yeah, there's no explanation for why that is. Dante Cook. Hey, ComicPop family. Well, thank you very much for your generosity,
Thank you so
Dante.
much.
Just wanted to give something to help kick off 2023 and say thank you. Well, thank you, man. Thank you so much. ComicPop over the years has helped me become a more mature comic reader and appreciating the artwork, storytelling, and creative teams within comics. I'm glad to hear that, dude. That is great. That is exactly what we're trying to do, man. We want people to like be more discerning and to be more, observant.
Yeah.
And really like just appreciate what they've got here.
Exactly. It helps you to find the products that you're really looking for and not like, hopefully not have too much burnout.
Yeah.
But it also just, helps you to save your money too.
It's true. Yeah, that's very true. Well, and focus your energy and money and efforts into something that might like actually produce positivity as opposed to like, hate reading and so forth, which nobody needs. I read this book ahead of time, but it came out 2 weeks ago, and that's Mark Waid and what?
I was gonna go. You go.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, you're already going.
All right, Mark Waid, Scott Godlewski is Batman versus Robin #4. This is from 2 weeks ago. I think this is the culmination. No, there's one more. There's one more issue of this series.
It's not Asrar?
No.
Oh,
no, it is. It's Mahmoud Asrar. My apologies. The friggin' website doesn't tell you
it's
that.
fine. It's fine.
Remember Neza from the Batman Superman World's Finest series from the flashback book? Well, he's here and he's possessed Robin, or he's used things to possess Robin, and the long and the short of it is Batman's got to put Dr. Fate's helmet on. And he does, and it's awesome, and it's a lot of fun. The idea is that Batman understands that, like, with magic, you have to submit, and he's never been one to do such a thing. You have to submit yourself to a higher power, and Batman doesn't believe in one. So therefore, he's, like, really bad at it. But he's not, like, a dupe or an idiot. It's more like you get to see him put on Dr. Fate's helmet and be cool. And it's a lot of fun. No Naboo stuff, just Batman using the helmet.
Okay.
And, like, manipulating magic and so forth. But he's not, like, great at it. He almost dies, and then they have to, like, save him. And the volcano explodes, and Lazarus Planet is Earth, and that's the whole thing.
Okay. And that's going to become a thing, right?
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to become a massive thing. But I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And the art's great. Azrael does some fantastic sequences, and the price of admission is the full page, like, Bat Fate book, but or image
with the ears.
Yeah, the helmet grows little ears. I'm like, that's cool. It's nice to see Mark Waid back home.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. How about you?
I read not this past week. I'm going to do things from this past week and the week before that. So either way, it's Strange #9 came out. Jed McKay writing on this, and then Marcelo Ferreira on pencils. Pretty much the same team. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no.
I really am enjoying this book. And I simultaneously really love that it is homage to 90s Strange.
Yes.
Just, like, to a lot. Like, it's clearly this is a lot of, like, Jed McKay remembers. And really I'm okay with that. And there is definitely, in terms of the way in which some of this is written, it has that homage to it as well. And I like that.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, I'm like, okay, could we please move the book along? And I don't want to say it's decompression, because I really do think this is meant to read a bit like very much an homage.
Yeah.
But Clea spends most of this issue talking about how much she's like, oh, I love him so much, and like just all like, so like, yeah, because of this and because blah 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 blah, and then like he tells her, like, they're going to attack the bad guy.
Okay.
That's what you know. They're going to attack the bad guy.
Oh no.
And like, so she's just talking about how amazing he is, and that, it's not just me, it's him too, but like, oh, we can't touch each other. We can't, like, I'm with him, but I can't be with him because like he's
dead.
Yeah, because he's dead and he's filled with the magic of death, and I am filled with the magic of life. And like, that's,
but is it life though?
Most of the issue is this type of conversation. I'm like, that is so 90s. And that's great. And yet I'm like,
do you notice
he didn't really do anything in this issue?
Yeah. Does it feel, because I mean, like the 90s issues, yes, they are loaded with that kind of dialogue. But doesn't it feel like more happens in those?
In this?
In those issues, in the older issues, like I mean, I think those issues are longer.
They are
too.
longer, so you can't really judge apples to apples because they had more page real estate to fill up with that, and then they could put the rest of the story in. And it is, and I appreciate it to some degree because, like, up until this point, we haven't had a whole lot of Clea involved in Strange's life in the past couple of people, writing for him.
Yeah.
And so I do appreciate getting people familiar with her and why she cares about him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like these weird little inconsistencies though. And I don't know if it's just,
you mean like gaps in his memory that are then like established as continuity because like he's like, he only selectively remembers some things?
No, I don't mean that at all. I mean, in terms of like,
that'll happen.
Strange is like, okay, Clea, like when we get in there, you feel free to like take down demons and like these other folk and the revenants, but like you got to let the people live.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that like bothers her. She's like, oh, I forgot like what he's like sometimes. Like
he's a superhero.
That like because she's like, he's a doctor. Like he, and a doctor always wants to fix things. Like he's all these things. He's a warrior and a sorcerer and all this stuff. But like at his core, he's a doctor and he wants to fix things.
Yeah.
And like, and then eventually she's like, and like, that's why I love him. I'm like, but you just said you forgot that about him. And then she goes on and on about it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to have these moments so that she can just keep espousing in her narration about them. But it's also that we can get to the end.
Right. The last page review.
Because, what is it? Agent Nunn.
Yeah.
He's got one move left and it's just the biggest, baddest revenant of them all because in an episode of Jed McKay Remembers, I'm not even kidding you. And like, I get, it's not bad because the dude legitimately remembers. He clearly loved 90s Doctor Strange.
He likes, was it Howard Mackey or who?
all of them.
It wasn't
like,
Mackey, but yeah.
No, but like he loves it all. Like he's like yes, thank you. This is what I wanted.
I can finally like sequelize that story.
But he's like trying to like make it modern and make it relevant
or
put his spin on it. But he's like, hey, here's some crap that was mentioned that maybe nobody did anything with.
Okay.
And that's what he's like gravitating.
That's kind of fun. I mean,
he's also he'll make his own characters. Which I'm like, you know what? You are doing the thing. You're doing a balance of like, I'm gonna make my own crap, but I'm also going to be like, hey, remember this thing?
I'm gonna pay off the past.
I know you don't. Here it is anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, wait a minute. And so I had to go back and figure out what issue.
I saw you pull from the archives.
I did pull from the archives. Because basically they want to have a conversation with him. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, oh no, we're totally gonna have a conversation. Because here's the thing is like at the end of the day, like I'm not actually in charge of all this. I'm working for someone else. Like Agent Nunn's like, I am actually helping some other force to get through.
Yeah.
That force being, I want to make sure I
you get it right.
Well, yeah, because it's the Trinity of Ashes, which consists of Grief Saver, which I always thought was 2 words, but fine, it's 1 word.
It probably becomes 1.
Yigmalavosrake.
Yeah.
I think I said that wrong. And Mother of Pain. And I'm like, cool, we did a story like that with 3 characters before, but it's not those 3 characters, right?
Yeah.
No. In this one issue.
Oh.
In like this one panel.
Uh-huh.
These 3 characters showed up as like the big antagonist during this huge like war thing that was going on. It's like 5,000 years war.
Was it the sword, the torso, and the wheel?
Yeah, those are the 3 characters of the Trinity of Ashes, and they're like the antagonists of the Vishanti in this.
Oh, okay.
That's who we're dealing with.
What?
I was like,
what? That's awesome.
It's like, yes. So like I said, like in yet another
Jed McKay Remembers.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So
I love it. That's great though. Isn't that nice?
It is fun. It is fun, honestly, but it's just so hilarious.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Does this book have an ad for Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
Is it 5 pages long? Like every Dragon Quest ad?
I don't know.
In the 90s? Yes, it is. Oh. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So like, it's a pull. It's a pull and a half, and like, he's doing it not for the person who's reading this for the first time. He's doing this for the person who's like, holy crap, I want to get some street cred with the Strange fans.
Or maybe he already has the street cred. And he's trying to pal around. He's looking for people like you. He's like, hey. You remember?
No, he has the credit. I think he's getting the extra credit. I should say it's extra credit.
He's working for extra credit.
He's looking for the extra credit there.
Is he getting it?
Yeah, you know what? We'll see what he does with it. I don't know if they're actually going to make it fourth because like the Agent Nunn had to do something in order to make that happen.
Mhm.
And the final Revenant is like filled with. Hang on, it was a ridiculous. The final page of this issue I loved and it was like in so many ways. One, I loved it because it's like holy crap, solid pull.
Yeah.
Solid, not this. There's another thing. Solid pull for the end reveal. Then I was like, oh my God, the text on this page, hilarious.
Yeah.
Like cheesy.
Oh, do they change the fonts and stuff? Or
Well, no, they do a logo thing on there, and then it's underneath what is said. So the Revenants have been superheroes who died, and then like demon souls are shoved into them so that they can walk around and do stuff.
Okay,
right?
all right.
We've seen that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like Thunderstrike was there.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do remember that.
So it's like we got to get all the souls we can into one. We got to pick someone super powerful, and you're like, who the hell's it gonna be? It's the Sentry.
Of course it is. No, I figured it was the Sentry. Yeah.
And I was like, solid pull. Now, it's Revenant Prime, the Sentry logo, right? Possessed with the power of 100 million insane ghosts. And I was like, of course, yes. So like, I was like, I love this.
100 million?
100 million.
That's too many.
Shout out to ridiculously round numbers.
For the win, yeah.
Like I was like, that's so perfect. It's like the Sentry, solid.
Yeah, great pull
Strange,
because there's a history with them.
total history there, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Perfect. And then let's
stuff to the brim.
90s it up by putting that on that image. We can't just leave it alone. I was like, this is this book is something else. And so like as much as I would love to see Cy Spurrier take on Doctor Strange, I'm like, what is Jed MacKay going to do with Doctor Strange when he actually gets that book, which is coming up? I don't know.
I bet he rides a road made of skeletons.
Dude, if he rides a road made of skeletons
with Ghost Rider,
yeah, I'm gonna like if we ever see him at Comic-Con again, I'm gonna high five him.
Yeah.
If he brings Rintrah back,
yeah, as like a stable main character,
yeah,
he better.
Or like even does like one issue with him
with Rintrah, just being like, I hated being your stupid pet, and it's like, shut up, Rintrah, you were a lame-o.
He's not a lame-o.
He was.
He's got a lot of heart.
Wasn't it pulled out of his chest?
He's a good guy.
But yeah,
can't help. It ain't easy being green.
It ain't easy being our green Minotaur.
Yeah, it isn't. So
yeah, well, it
this
sounds like you love this series, and it's awesome.
I just couldn't get over 100 million insane ghosts.
It's like it's ghosts.
I love
cool.
that they're insane too because
they have to be insane. That's the thing.
Well, it's like they have to be insane because that's 90s, right there, and also like kind of insensitive to Bob.
Fair. Yeah. Love it.
So
100 million insane ghosts.
So
yeah,
I gotta say, if you have not been reading Strange because you're like, I don't know who Clea is, you don't need to because all the stuff that I'm talking about, it's fine. He will hold your hand and explain what you need to know, and other stuff, just you're along for the ride, and that's okay. If you happen to know what he's referencing, cool.
Yeah,
neat.
I like that. Well, I looked through this. I didn't actually read it cover to cover because I wanted to like kind of savor it, but it's because it's also a $10 book. Written by Mark Waid, Becky Cloonan, Michael Uslan, Kenny Porter, Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly. Yeah, the creator of Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Steve Orlando, Zach Thompson, Michael Conrad, Megan Fitzmartin, Stephanie Williams, and so forth. With art by Kevin McGuire, Lee Weeks, Max Dunbar, Juan Ferreira, Anthony Marquez, Hayden Sherman, Carrie Mustard, more and more. Is a declaration of Earth number 6, Tales from Earth 6, a celebration of Stan Lee. It's the Just Imagine universe.
No way.
Yes, it is a little anthology book that showcases new stories featuring the Stan Lee interpretations of the DC universe. It's like really cool. It's $10. But it's really cool that A, they did it, B, they did it with this kind of effort, and C, that maybe the fact that it was done will allow for us to get more of it and for them to really like embrace this idea, because they say in their own in their own kind of like copy, 20 years ago was when they did this.
Wow.
And I can't believe it was that long ago. But yeah, it's really cool. Fun art, really good. Like, and by the way, not like they're not trying to break the mold. They're not trying to change everything. They're just like, here is little stories that feature these characters, new stuff, and just living in that universe. And I'm like really glad they did it, and I think it's really fun that it was done. You should definitely, if you were in any way like kind of wondering about this universe or want to like do something cool in memory of Stan, you could I could think of worse ideas than this. It's a really cool concept, great art, great writing. It's just I won't like go into each one. I'm just gonna say it's a really fun celebration, and I didn't hear anything about it, so I think check it
Oh,
out if you haven't already.
that's great.
Right. I also read Mark Waid and Dan Mora's Batman Superman World's Finest number 10. This is from 2 weeks ago. This is the one we were talking about. If you already have subscribed to this channel, you probably already heard the Mark Waid interview in which we talked about both Batman vs. Robin and this issue. But if you haven't already, read the issue, for God's sake. Number 10. Pick it up. Dan Mora, Mark Waid, great stuff. Boy Thunder, what happens to him? Joker kidnaps him, tortures him.
Well, that never goes well for anybody.
No, Superman and Batman and the Justice League and the Titans turn the whole damn city upside down trying to find him. They do. Of course, Joker's teamed up with the Key, allowing for teleportation technology and whatnot. When they catch up with him, the torment of Boy Thunder leads him to become embittered and angry, resentful, hated, hates the Joker with a fiery passion. And then we reveal that Boy Thunder is actually the young version of what will ultimately someday become Magog from Kingdom Come. And boys and girls, I wish that when DC, because DC like actually reached out to me and facilitated these interviews. Like the reason why Josh and Dan and Mark were able to come on those individual shows that are here on this channel is because DC was like, all right, you think we don't promote things? Well, now how about we had some people on the show? You can talk to the creators and you can talk about these books. And I'm like, all right.
To do it.
Yeah, but they showed me the reveal before the book came out, and they were like, "Wait, did you get the PDF?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't get the PDF." They're like, "Look at this," because we were about to wrap up the interview, and I wish they'd recorded me seeing that Boy Thunder was Magog, because oh my god, like that is so smart and so well executed and so well earned and just good stuff. And if you haven't already been reading World's Finest, there's only 10 issues. Go back, read issues 1 through 9, because it's a really fun book.
That's
and
great.
Dan Mora's on air almost every single issue. So it's gorgeous looking.
His covers are great, too.
The covers are fantastic. The interiors are wonderful. There's always at least one huge, awesome page, if not, but everyone else is consistently dope. Like Batman could be like taking a dump and he still look awesome. That's how it is. That's the Dan Mora guarantee.
Don't.
But anyway, high recommend.
Awesome.
Mark Waid is back and killing it at DC.
That's great.
So check out that series. We read Dark Web X-Men number 2.
Do you want me to do any of my other books?
This is our book. We're doing this.
Oh, okay.
You want to do another book? Go ahead.
I would love to.
Well, please do. I hope you do.
If I could.
Well, the floor's yours.
You ever tried to search for something in Comixology and then you can't go back to the main
of course
thing? I love it.
You mean to ask, have I ever had a really unsatisfactory experience with the new Comixology? The answer is an emphatic yes.
I read Exterminators. Remember that book?
Oh yeah, the Grindhouse book.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just like, oh yeah, that came out.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Reddit was really mad at that book.
Why?
For all the reasons you'd imagine. But he felt like the dialogue was super dumb, and that it was like ruining the integrity of the X-Men series.
Okay, so this is Exterminator. We can talk about that. Let's talk about.
I would love to hear your opinion.
Exterminator number 4, written by Leah Williams, by Carlos Gomez. So like what I've pitched since the beginning of the launch of Krakoa, right? Since the start of this whole thing is that when we started getting into the issues that were not like the main X-Men title and anything that Hickman was doing, that all of these books kind of fell into like different genres.
Yes.
Right. And so it felt like you could either be like all in on Krakoa, right? Or it's number 4.
Okay.
Or you could be like, hey, I'm like kind of in on this, but really I'm only interested in a couple of these teams. Or I'm interested in this style of book. Like I'm interested in like a classic feeling X-Men book. Well, I'm going to read X-Force. Or like, I want to check out X Factor. or I want to read Hellions because I don't know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Or I'm interested in Sword and Sorcery, so I'm gonna go check out Excalibur, right?
Uh-huh.
So like, there's something for you. If you wanted to find it, it's there.
Yes.
And I feel like Exterminators being a 5-issue, I think it's 5-issue.
I believe it is.
Is just following that trend of like, hey, here's a silly like this like grindhouse style.
Look at this book that hurts no one and is only for its audience and nobody else.
And like, is it campy and silly?
Based on the covers, the title, the premise, and the pitch, I would say, yeah, probably.
It is 100% that. It is just campy and dumb. And like, if that is, and that is done with intention.
Yeah.
It's not like because like, oh, it's not like it's someone trying to make a really amazing movie and then they make The Room.
Right.
Which is amazing in its own way.
Or somebody getting a book that everyone loves, like a beloved series, and then being like, I don't really like this book or this show.
Yeah.
But I finally get my shot and I'm just going to turn it into something I want it to be.
Right.
Like this is a book that is from nowhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
By the way, I should point out, just for the record, the Reddit post, the one person who made it was like outraged. And by the way, not even like they didn't even really understand why they were mad. Like it was in a very almost innocent kind of like, I read this book and it's stupid and I hate it.
Right.
And
right.
the reaction was like, maybe you're an idiot.
Ooh.
Like, no, the audience was like, it's a book that doesn't hurt anybody. Who cares? Like, no, like the majority was like, who cares?
And when you get someone like that, though, I feel like that's the inappropriate reaction to have. It's just like, first, at least try to educate and be like, hey, this is meant to be a grindhouse book. And like a grindhouse style movie is meant to be campy and silly and over the top. Right. Yes. And so like, going into it cold and maybe not knowing that they were doing that, like this is a shock and a half.
Yeah, if you only read comic books, you don't like look for commentary or solicitations, or you only watch YouTubers who are outraged all the time,
or if you have a pull list, or like you're a lot of people that if you've got a good relationship with your LCS, they'll put things in your bin where it's like, hey, I read most of the X books, so they might throw this in there.
Yeah.
And so you just pick this up thinking like, oh, okay, it's just another entry into what's going on with the X-Men. What the hell is happening? Mm-hmm. I totally
right.
get this.
I heard Hawks and Pox is awesome. I guess I'll read Exterminators.
Yeah. So like, I'm not going to judge based on that because most of these, like any book of the X-Men that leads heavily into genre, I'm like, this is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I totally get that. And that's what this book is. This book is silly. And the first issue of this book, I was like, I don't want to read this.
Yes.
And I was like, I'll give it another issue. And now I'm like, yeah, all right.
Like, okay.
It's silly and dumb. And like you said, it's not really hurting anybody.
Right.
Although honestly, by the end of this book, I was like, this is over. Why is there another issue? And I don't know, but there is another issue. Like the girls got out.
Right. Okay, good for them.
They solved that problem. They saved all the people in there that were with them.
Yeah.
Dracula came to Krakoa. We caught up to our timeline.
Ooh.
And he's like, we were demand reparations for what you've done.
Yeah.
And they use like barely any logic like you would in a grindhouse to be like, actually, you owe us money because more than likely you had a bounty on this guy and all those like. God. So
did somebody say, Dracula, you owe me some money, you effing nerd?
I wish they said that. Oh my God, what is that from?
It's the Moon Knight like fan edit where it's
yeah.
Hey Dracula, you big effing nerd. Where's my money?
I wish they had done that. Jubilee was the one that brought it up.
That's
she
funny.
Totally could have said that. Now,
well, she is a vampire. Or was.
Yeah. Instead, Dazzler wants a boon. And that boon is basically to dress like Dazzler and then have all these girls go and face the guy who did this to them.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then
it's like the end of Death Proof. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then it's like it's to be concluded. So I'm like, I have no idea.
Okay, cool. Maybe it'll be like just a straight up revenge, kind of like revenge porn kind of book where it's like, we just watch these girls beat the hell out of somebody.
This the whole issue?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It's a silly book, and I only recommend it to you if that's the type. If you're like, I kind of do like grindhouse stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, I want to see the girls dressed up in silly costumes.
Yeah. And talk about being peed on or whatever.
What?
Where they're like, hey, there's no toilet in here. You must like watching people pee.
Yeah.
You're a pee boy.
Yeah.
That was the thing that people got upset about. I'm like, how could you possibly care?
Because they're all mad. He's a vampire. I'm like, what do you care?
Yeah, I would take every opportunity to make fun of a vampire.
Yeah.
Especially if like I had mutant powers.
Yeah.
To defend myself.
It's silly, and listen, it's only 5 issues, so if you want to grab it, I would just trade rate it at this point. It's going to be over.
It's almost over.
It's almost over. Don't
You're
worry
not going to
about
save
it.
the book by buying
You-
issue 5.
Yeah, and this is a fun experiment,
Mhm.
and it's not going to matter.
No.
It's never going to matter.
Cool.
So I
That's
wouldn't
good.
worry about it, but I was committed to finishing it up, so I read the issue this week.
There you have it.
Additionally, I also read the X-Men Annual.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get a chance to read it?
No.
It's pretty good. It's a completely different team on it,
Yes.
which was surprising.
Now, here's my question. Did
Yeah.
you hear about the vote that's coming up this year?
No, I didn't. What vote?
The X-Men team vote.
Oh, we're doing it again?
Doing it again.
Man,
I was like, didn't we
at
just
the end of the year at least?
No.
That's way too soon. We haven't had enough stories with these guys.
Well, no, Marvel couldn't care less.
Oh, is it not doing well?
I mean, all I'm seeing is just solicitations for, like, they're like, hey, the vote's coming up for the new 2023 team of the X-Men.
Oh,
And I'm like, aren't they in like two issues?
dude, these guys did not get a fair shake because AXE happened,
Yeah.
which they knew about, which I wonder why they
Why they even bothered.
Well, it was like, I guess that's why they put what they put on this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
This issue was written by Steve Fox with art by Andrea DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
Art in this
Yeah,
is fine.
I did not read this because it's not written by anybody who normally writes these books.
Right, but it's an annual, so I was like, I'm here for this.
Annuals I usually skip.
And I gotta tell you, it's pretty good.
Okay, good.
It's all about Firestar.
Oh, that's
Like,
fun.
literally, it's just like, hey, I don't think we're gonna get enough.
Yeah, she's going to be voted off the team, so.
Probably. So it is very much about her and how some of the mutants from her previous teams react to her now that she's on Krakoa. They give her a hard time. Like the old Hellions team gives her a hard time. They're like, screw you.
Yeah.
You got to integrate in with the Avengers, and you hadn't had to deal with all the crap that we had to deal with being mutants.
Uh-huh.
Like, you are a mutant, but like you try to pretend like you're not.
Firestar was barely an Avenger. She was more like a new warrior.
But they're really focused on that. Well, they're like, and they mentioned that too.
Yeah.
Like you were on teams that were not mutant based constantly,
Yeah.
and that's not fair. Now you get to just be here, be cool, and be on the team.
This island is here to, like Juggernaut's here, for God's sake.
But
But
everybody's got like that one person they see, and they're like, hey, screw you, I guess.
yeah, her name was Wanda.
Bobby shows up, helps her out. They find out there's a whole bunch of things going around, and so the team's got to break up and go into different places, right?
Okay.
Different locations. One thing that they noticed is that there was a hospital that had like an issue with medicine from Krakoa.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a missing supply
Yeah.
chain. And they're like, you know what? We can probably just let the authorities handle that. We've got to deal with like something with Mojo and something with the Harrower. Remember her from the Deadpool book?
Vaguely.
Yes.
Yes.
So like they're dealing with all these things, and that's when Firestar's like, hey, if you're got me on this team to try to make you guys look good post everything that happened with AXE and the reveal of like Resurrection,
Yeah.
helping a hospital is pretty good PR.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of anything,
Yeah.
but it's pretty much a win-win.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we should help these people because it's the right thing to do, and also it makes you look amazing.
Yeah, if X-Corps still exists, they would definitely sign off on it.
X-Corps is still around.
I know, but they don't
but
have a
like,
book.
but not that book. But like, nobody's gonna know that you helped out in the Mojoverse.
No, that's true.
So-
That's gonna be that's an adventure for you. One for you, one for them.
So because of that, Cyclops is like, hey, yeah, all right, let's do that.
Yeah.
And so Bobby's like, hey, I'll go with you.
Oh, okay.
And Cyclops is like, I'm gonna take this one.
Hmm.
Jean talks to him in his brain about this, and he's like, she's like, what are you doing?
Right.
And he's like, she has not one time really spoken up about anything.
Yeah.
Like, she treats me as though like I'm holding a Star-Spangled Shield.
Okay.
And this she felt passionate about, so I want to get it. I want to understand. She's
Okay.
like trying to be a real leader. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, Cyclops.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So everybody goes on their little adventures,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it turns out obviously the drug thing, there's more to it than
Naturally.
that. She tries to use her powers. So she's trying to like practice her powers a little more, like hone in on certain things to be able to sense other wavelengths or whatever. It doesn't really work out for her.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, it turns out that I think it's Cyclone. What's his
Okay.
name? Whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
I don't
Yeah.
want to call him Cyclone. Whirlwind's behind this.
Mm.
He was hired by
That's the Iron Man villain.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was hired by some like trust fund girl to kill her dad in the
Mm.
hospital. He's in the hospital, and while he was there, he's like, "Wait a minute, there's all these Krakoan drugs here. I'm going to steal them
Right.
and then sell them to the black market because there is like."
because there
the
is still a
question was,
black
like,
market.
When they go to talk to the nurse about it, like she's like, "No, the shipment got here, but someone stole it."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, but why? It's free. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, here. But in countries where they didn't accept the treaty, it's not there.
Right.
So there's a market there for that.
Okay.
Which is really what Sebastian Shaw is supposed to be like
handling.
Yeah, but I guess he's not handling it very well.
No, isn't he like a feeding tube thanks to Kitty, or did they fix that?
No, he's good.
Oh.
But there's still a desire for that. So that's why he took it. He's like, oh, I'll take that and make some extra cash. So also she fought him in the past.
Right. Okay.
As like her tryout for getting on the Avengers.
Oh, interesting.
So he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna definitely do that. That's what I am going to do. Elsewhere, teams are doing whatever they deal with Mojo. They deal with the By Beast. They deal with they get called to Brooklyn because there's dinosaurs around.
Sweet.
Some folk from the Savage Land are there.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're just cramming all of the time these people are X-Men into one issue.
Into one issue.
Because they're like, well, they're going to get voted.
I mean, that said, Sync gets an opportunity to steal Miles Morales' powers. He syncs up with them. Miles shows up.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, hey. And I think Magic's like, you're a lot cooler than you're a lot more chill than the other one. Like, you're less annoying.
Thanks.
And he's like, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of cute, I guess. So Miles gets to be like, hey, I'm having X-Men adventures.
Yeah.
Um,
is he in the real suit or is he in that awful suit from last year? Oh, yay. That's one of my favorite resolutions for 2023 is that we're going to leave that ugly ass suit in the past.
No, he's in the regular suit.
That weird thing with like the thing. It's terrible.
So Angelica, does kick Whirlwind's ass.
Yay.
And then he's a sore loser about it. He's
Naturally.
like, I put a bomb in that girl's dad's body so that, I could get her because she didn't pay me enough. And I'm like, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
You're a nightmare.
Right.
So he's like, I was gonna like blow the corpse up at the funeral, but I figure I'll just do it now. And so like Cyclops reaches out telepathically reaches out to Jean, they're all telepathically linked, and he's just like, I need you to get Magic to get like energy absorbers and like all these other types of mutants here now.
Right.
And Firestar's like, they're not going to make it, and so she tries to use her powers again to locate the bomb, and so she is able to do that, and she fries like the
circuitry or something. That's
so
great.
It's fine.
Yay.
So she gets to have like a really great hero moment, and then right at the end, they're like, oh no, we have to leave. We've been called away, and they have to go fight some Sentinels.
Sentinels?
Yeah, some like
off the grid.
Some off the grid militia.
Somebody took them out of mothballs.
They bought them on like the black market.
That's awesome.
And so like they're like, hey, classic adventure. We get to fight some Sentinels.
That's great.
Go back to the island, to the Green Lagoon, where like her old team is there. And she goes over to them. And it's like, hey, like I'm here because you're right. I did run, but I'm here to make myself better.
Right.
And they're like, all right, X-Man.
Oh.
So it was a really...
And then Nate Gray shows up and he's like, hey, I'm X-Man.
It was a cute issue. So if you skip that, it's up to you.
Is Nate Gray on Krakoa?
No, he left.
What happened to him?
The young Cable?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent him back to the future.
No. Nate Gray. Nate Gray is alternate reality young Cable.
No. Young Cable that came back. Remember?
I know. I remember young Cable.
Nate Cable is not around.
Yeah.
Or Nate Gray is not around.
That's weird.
There's a couple of mutants they haven't brought back.
I'm going to bring back Nate.
Well, they're doing it a little bits at a time.
What about Strife? Bring back Strife too.
Why would they do that?
All the cables.
No.
So they can have a cable core.
Old Cable didn't want that.
Nobody wants that. That's fair. That sounds fun. All right, good for them. All right.
It was a cute issue, and it was an annual, so he didn't pick it up. I get you.
Yeah, because it was $5, but still.
But Firestar was the star of the show.
Oh.
The Firestar of the show.
Oh.
And since she might, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, they hinted already that she was there for specific reasons, you know, as a liaison, but also because the Avengers wanted to keep tabs on them.
Right.
With whatever's going to be coming next with Sinister and stuff, who knows? What's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah. Justin got the mustache says 2023. Woo! Let's go. Here's to 9 years.
Ooh, 9 years. What's going to happen in 9 years?
That we will have existed.
Okay,
for 9
good.
years.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm with you. I'm
thank
bad
you,
at
man.
math.
Louis De La Torre. Sal, please listen to the song "I Just Wasn't Made for These Times" by the Beach Boys, and think about Moira's story and House of X. They go hand in hand. Okay. Also, you guys are my favorite comic book channel ever. Well, thank you very much, Louis.
Nice.
Lucky to have you. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I will definitely listen to the Beach Boys. Can't think of a bad reason to do that. Ray Farr, ComicPop Woo. Gotta go to bed. Heard
Fair.
YouTube made some BS changes, so I hope you guys aren't affected by them. Also, favorite non-Trinity Justice Leaguer? Blue Beetle.
That's pretty good.
And yes, YouTube changed their rules secretly. Penguin Zero let me know. Not directly, but through his own video. 3 videos were demonetized as a result of that.
Yeah, no, there's no way we're not going to have a problem.
Yep.
And they're not making any efforts to allow that to be changed or fixed or not be retconned. Like, it's not like it's going forward.
No, it's going to be retroactively. They're going to affect every video.
Yeah, and
ever
it's
made.
actually one of the most unprofessional changes I've ever seen made. I know it's their right to do so, but I also think that they should be worried about the relationship that they're forging with other people. Now, I'm sure they're riding high because we're hearing a lot of people saying that like TikTok might end up being banned.
Yep.
But the fact is, like, I don't know. I just don't think that that's fair or in good faith, and like to not offer tools in order to address it.
Yep.
I think that's
they rather just like take your money away.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, like at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want money.
Yeah, but they're not going to get it if they demonetize all their videos.
No, they'll demonetize you.
Right.
They could still make money off of it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they can just stop me from making money.
Yeah, it's actually like villainous.
Yeah.
And so like I'm kind of hoping that someone ends up suing them over this one.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
So we'll see what happens.
Don't be evil. You have to write it down. You are evil. Neki T. Always enjoy stories about Batman dealing with magic or supernatural elements. Where he's out of his depth and uncomfortable. Do you? Yeah, that's great.
I love it because of how much he hates it.
Yeah, Batman Dead Man on back issues.
So
Check it
good.
out. Dawson Miller. Tiffany, thank you for recommending Spurrier's Constantine run.
Yay.
It was Hold Me on Magic Books. Is McKay Strange fun in the way that it handles magic?
McKay Strange, it's very different than the way that Spurrier handles John, because they just have very different magical stylings. I do think it's interesting because he's like, yeah, I get it. The whole magic has a cost thing, but since he's using Clea Strange right now, he gets to play like it's the 90s with her, where he's just like, they're just doing magic. Who cares?
Exactly.
So if you'd like that type of thing, go check it out. But it's definitely some deep dives, and I'm interested to see how he's going to handle actual Doctor Strange when that comes out. We'll
Fantastic. See. I wanted to ask you guys about AI and your opinion on it, and do you think it can affect comics? Sorry for the off-topic question.
It's not an off-topic question.
No.
We talk about this often because it's something that like I have a lot of opinions about.
Yes.
Initially, I was kind of like, hey, AI, we'll see where it goes. It can't possibly be that harmful.
Yeah.
But that was one of those things where I was like, let me get to know what's going on and what's going down with this actual system. And the more I learned about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm not a fan, simply because of the fact of how much it is just taking someone else's art and then
repurposing
it or gently like nudging a couple of things. It just feels dirty and wrong.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of arguments about there, and I don't want to get into them right now just because it's a whole huge can of worms to open, but I'm not a big fan of it at all.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Hogshead, how did 2022 go? Like Cavill leaving a popular show he seemingly likes, doing only for nothing to happen with Superman, on to 2023. Happy New Year. Cavill left that show for a number of reasons. The first of which is that, like, he didn't need to be on that show anymore.
I heard he didn't like the way they were changing the character.
He did not. And he's right, by the way.
He's a bit of a nerd, so I buy that. Like, he definitely reads the books and he likes them, and like, dude is excited to potentially be in Warhammer because he plays it.
Yes.
So like, I think part of that was maybe an excuse because he wanted to try to get back into Superman?
Sure.
For sure. But I also think he's like, no, this is not what Geralt is meant to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. And I think he'll be fine. He's a talented actor, and he'll be fine. We can get the most square-jawed James Bond ever made. I am Awakefly. I'm Awakeify. Happy New Year, ComicPop crew. Looking forward to more content. Is there a read list for Hickman's run on X-Men that you recommend? It seems really daunting. Yeah, I mean, like, really, it's just, if you focused only on the Hickman stuff, it's like Hox Pox, the X-Men series that he wrote. I mean, if you just follow the Hickman books, just follow the writer,
that
it'll stay pretty consistent.
It will, but like I honestly, I haven't had a chance to look at anyone's reading list down out there, but I completely understand where you're coming from, that it feels like it is daunting.
Yes. But you just pick and choose. Honestly, if you read only the books that are written by Hickman, and then only the books that make you feel excited,
Yes.
you'll be fine.
Unless you want to get into Ten of Swords,
Right.
upon which I would recommend you jump into Excalibur, just
And that's
because
it?
it kind of helps to set up the magical world and Apocalypse and what he do.
Yeah, if you literally if you read all of Hickman's books and Excalibur, you can go right into Ten of Swords. Read all of Ten of Swords, have no problem.
Yeah.
And then just read his stuff, like just Hickman stuff. And then you can go back, and if you want, you can read like New Mutants. I think New Mutants was an amazing series for a while, so like, that's worth checking out. And Wolverine was always on the periphery anyway. Nikki Pool 415. Hi guys, I'm a huge fan of you guys. Well, thank you very much,
Thank
Nikki.
you.
I started getting into Marvel by reading Ultimate Universe. What other titles besides Ultimate Universe should I read? Depends. If you're just looking to get into Marvel, you just pick your favorite character or the character that appeals to you the most, and then you grab some of their seminal books. Although I would necessarily not recommend just grabbing like the biggest and best books ever. If I was recommending Justice League, I might necessarily just say like read Kingdom Come. But when it comes to Marvel, you can't go wrong with street level. That's like where it was born. Marvel was born in the streets. So I'd read Daredevil, and you can't go wrong with any run on Daredevil. But like I would read a run or at least like an arc. Spider-Man, same deal. I like him, but if with Spider-Man, it's much more of a mixed bag.
And I don't know if it's on there now, but you can check out Jed McKay's Moon Knight.
Yes,
really approachable.
It is, and it's short, like it's still going, but
Yeah.
like it's only been going for some time. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot out there, so it's really just what you feel like you're attracted to, and then read up on runs, but I'd read runs, writer runs, artist runs. I wouldn't go necessarily on like, issues 1 to like what to what. Nachiket Naik says, hey, happy New Year's, folks. Which Comic Cons are y'all visiting this year? Baltimore, New York.
For sure. And then we don't know.
Yep.
But we always know that those two are on the list.
Yep. Girk Bectus, are you excited about Mr. Sinister's event? I love Mr. Sinister and him versus the entire Marvel Universe. Sounds fun. Just hope the Kang crap doesn't ruin it. I doubt it will.
1,000% excited for it, because if you see the team that's running this, it's Cy Spurrier, it's Al Ewing, and it's Kieran Gillen.
Yeah.
I'm like, could you just write everything?
Yeah, please. Girk Bectus, you get anything good for Xmas? I got escape rooms in a box.
Ooh, I love that. I got a fitness watch, which I love, or fitness band, whatever you want to call those. Yep. And then Sal also got me the Sandman annotated volume 1, which it's so amazing to see not only the notes that are in there, but like Sam Keith's art and just like inks.
Yeah, that's what we've wanted forever.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I'm glad.
So good. It's huge too. You just feel like you've got like this tome, like wham.
Yeah. Tiffany got me
good to say.
Some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see what she got me soon enough. Riv Wilson, excited for ComicPop 2023. Me too, man. I can't wait to see what we do. Yeah. Oh, Hickman's Shield. Yeah, it's a great series. Just reading all of Hickman.
Yeah.
You'll be glad you did. Let's talk about Dark Web X-Men #2. Jerry Duggan, Rod Rice.
Yeah.
And
Phil Noto.
And Phil Noto. Yeah, Phil Noto.
This book looks incredible.
It does look incredible.
I also love this issue.
I think it's fine.
Okay, well, you're not reading X-Men as much as I am.
That's right. Yep. But I am reading Spider-Man.
How about this? If you're reading X-Men and you don't give a crap about Dark Web, I think you can read this series.
Yeah.
Because it's just, if you're interested at all about what Madeline Pryor was going to do when she came back.
Yes. This is it.
This is where it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you just kind of don't worry too much about what's going on and take a couple of things at face value, like where a certain item in this book came from. I'm like, I didn't read that issue and I don't need to.
And I don't need
I'm
to.
good.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, Maddie gets a ball from Cerebro that's like full of memories. She's like, I want to get Jean's memories. Open. Do what I do it. Why aren't you opening? That's it.
That's a really crappy summary of what happens in this book. Wow. Okay. That's Sal's take on it.
I liked
Sal
it. It was
zero
fun.
patient for the X-Men, I swear.
Sometimes.
I thought this was really well executed, this book, because Maddie's obviously dealing with the 4 X-Men that she's caught. So she's got Magic, Jean, Havoc, and Cyclops.
Yeah. 2
different areas.
Oh, that's right. This is the whole thing where like, yeah, she sends Magic and Jean into their younger memories of themselves.
So like what she wants, and like this is what I thought was so well written about this. We open this issue up with like Maddie having a nightmare, and the nightmare is her on a beach with a young Cable, and like he's playing in the sand, and then he's consumed.
Yes,
because she has no memories of what it's like to be his mother.
Yeah.
There's like a line here that says like she was like created to breed and then tossed away.
Yeah,
and I was like, ouch.
Oof. Yeah.
And so like, she has this cerebral brawl, which you're like, I don't understand why she has that when she got cancer, because you can just give you memories. But like, she's not just looking for the memories; she wants the feelings.
Yes, that's right. No, she's
That's
like, I know what happened, but that's not enough.
Yeah, so like memories aren't really what she's after. So she's like tries to use the ball, and she's like, no, this is garbage. I need to know what Jean Grey felt to raise a child, to raise my child, because that's what I want. And I was like, that is so unbelievably sad.
Yes, no, it is.
And so she decides that she needs Jean to open the ball.
Right.
And then hopefully that'll unlock the memories and then give her those sensations and feelings as well for herself.
Exactly.
So she sends them into the mindscape essentially. And like Sinister's there too. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. That Sinister scene of him looking in the house.
Yeah.
The house sequences.
They're in a doll's house.
Gorgeously. It is great. So Sienkiewicz.
Yes.
But it's totally Rod Rice doing his thing.
Yep.
Looks so good. Additionally, she has a cool conversation with Havoc, because Havoc was the champion of getting her back.
Yes.
And then she tossed him to the curb. Like she's just like, I don't need you, man. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And like all he wants is to like try to make things better. He's done some like missteps here and there, but he's Havoc.
He's got a
hard time.
Yeah.
But like in this, he's like makes some really good points, because he's apparently going to therapy.
Yeah.
And now he's just like, it's not easy being in the orbit of the Summers brothers.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah. And like Cyclops is like later on, I was like, hey, that was a pretty good play. And he's like, no, I am.
No, I'm really done with this. Yeah.
But like Maddie like is taken aback by that, as when he like it's like, can you let me help you?
Right. And she's like, put a pin in that. I'll think about it.
She's like, just don't undermine my anger right now. I'm mad and I'm gonna get what I want. No, you're not.
You're not, but okay.
But I was like, this is an interesting deep dive. This is what I was hoping for from a book about Madeline Pryor coming back. Was a little bit more of the emotion. I wish we had a little more wiggle room on this one, because I know we only get like maybe 3 issues out of this.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's find out. Yes.
So like that, I'm a little sad about, because I think that there's a little bit more emotion here. But I am glad that they have their own book that's going on.
Yes.
Because especially if you're an X-Men fan and you're like, I really don't want to deal with the Spider-Man garbage right now. You. This is fine. I think this is where you're going to be okay. You could just read this. And again, the art looks amazing. Also, Cyclops and Havoc get a little bit of a whatchamacallit, a character growth. Yeah, which I am wondering if isn't why that they're not leading towards having them go away as a team. Some people are already considering leaving from the team, and it seems pretty natural. Yeah, Havoc's like, I was only put on this team because Forge wanted to screw you over and like give you a headache. It's like I was like, that's not what it was. He clearly wanted to see if I could fix something, and I can't fix us. Yeah, and I'm like, that's really sad. So I hope that Cyclops and Havoc, are able to actually, repair some of their relationship or move forward in this. Yeah, because like when things started in Hawks and Pox, like the Summers family was finally united. We really didn't get to explore that much outside of them just having already buried the hatchet, kind of. Sort of. I mean, like not really. Havoc and Maddie are an interesting pair. Yes. Because Maddie is just a clone that got mixed up in a whole bunch of stuff. She was with Scott. She wasn't with Scott. She was with Havoc, right? Like, and she died. And Havoc lives in the shadow of his brother. Yeah. And so, like, and he's very happy with Madeline Pryor. And Maddie is just like, I don't want you. Like, you're a lesser version of my husband. Yeah. It's really sad. Yeah, it's really sad. Like Havoc's like, no, I wanted you to come back. I thought you should get a second chance. I fought for you, and now it happened, and look what's happening. Yeah. So, I don't know. There's like a info dump page in this that indicates that like maybe at the end of this, it'll all be okay. Yeah. With Limbo, I don't know. We'll see. But this one definitely had some sad moments. This is better than the first issue by far. Yeah, and I think now that I described it to you, I think you're a little more. I'm coming around on it. Well, I read it read it a while ago. Yeah, but no, I like it. Venom 14, Al Ewing, Brian Hitch. I do not like this cover. No, it's horrible. The art's horrible. I mean, like, it's not horrible.
it's Brian Hitch. You don't like Brian Hitch, you're not gonna like the art in this. And I've never liked Brian Hitch,
But it
so
looks
I'm not.
very 90s.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been saying 90s a lot. It's like a weird 90s renaissance.
it is.
occurring
Well,
in
DC
comics.
is literally like publishing 90s
I
covers and stuff.
know.
I
And there's like reprints of like a bunch of random stuff, but it wasn't for the 90s. But
Yeah.
yeah, not a huge
I
like.
don't even think this is 90s. I think it's just the fact that it's Venom and Spider-Man on the same cover together, so you're thinking 90s. But
I guess.
this is just what Brian Hitch's art looks like.
I guess. I think I'm thinking 90s because with the like books that I've seen of Venom, because I'm not a huge Venom reader.
Yeah.
From the 90s, either he looks really well done or there's something up with the jaw. And there's something up with the jaw.
They don't know what to do. Like, they don't know how to draw him anymore.
Yeah.
Ed McGuinness couldn't draw him either. Like,
I guess that's true.
they just don't know what to do.
It's
really weird because like they don't know.
It's Venom's book and Spider-Man looks better on this cover.
Well, yeah, because Brian Hitch knows how to draw Spider-Man.
Great, but
yeah,
I'm not trying to like.
Yeah, you want to diminish it or cut him
down. But
absolutely.
Like, it's the cover, man.
I know. Well, he drew everything else, and like some of it's cool and consistent, but for the most part, like if you
he didn't. Wait, did he do the cover or did Alex St. Clair do the cover?
Oh, did he?
I don't know.
No, that looks like Brian Hitch to me. That's just Brian Hitch.
Well, it'll be on the credits page. Let's take
Cover artist Alex.
both
color artist is Alex.
No,
Sinclair.
cover is
Brian Hitch and Alex Sinclair. No, it's just Alex Sinclair covered it or colored it. Yeah, no, it's just Brian Hitch, man. The interiors aren't bad. They're just like they're very Brian Hitch. But yeah, so in this issue, Chasm takes Eddie's memories, and he's like, "Yeah, I got your memories," and basically he's like, "I'm gonna factory reset you. I'm gonna take your memories." Because like Venom, I didn't read any of the previous stuff, but apparently he's like he makes a deal with them because he wants to like find or remember or deal with Dylan, and Chasm's like, "Screw it, I don't care," and he basically just like takes his memories and factory resets him to being 90s Venom again.
Oh no!
So all he remembers is up to and including like Lethal Protector, or right before Lethal Protector. So he still wants to kill Spider-Man and eat brains. Unfortunately, we've seen we've seen this in action in the actual Dark Web Spider-Man book. So like this is just kind of like here's what's happening. Like here's how it happened.
But I think Al Ewing knows not every Venom fan is reading Dark Web.
They straight up aren't.
For them, they're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's just used to like mess up the treehouse and steal the Cerebro ball.
Sphere, yeah.
So he does. We find out that like All Hallows Eve and Maddie are like really chummy in their own way. Sync fights Venom and he kicks his ass. It's great.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he is drawn horribly, just like Venom is, because it's Brian Hitch. And look, Brian Hitch is one of those things where it's like if you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't. And I never. But yeah, so while that happens, like literally, Venom is just a pawn. He's sent there to fight Sync so that All Hallows Eve can sneak in, put on her fly mask or something. I thought it was just 3 masks, but apparently it's like every mask, any mask she wants. She goes in and she steals the ball.
Oh, okay.
Sync basically becomes a symbiote. He's like, haha. And then messes around with him and like has him revert to like all the different like versions of himself that he's been dealing with, because like he's bouncing through time or he's his own version. Like Venom has been going through different iterations of himself through time, which Al Ewing has been setting up for his own series, which I have no stomach for, so I'm not really involved. But this issue in particular, he's freaking out, and then he ultimately bumps into Dylan, who is of course Venom, because Dylan has the actual Venom symbiote,
right?
And so it teases a fight I'll never read.
Okay,
it's fine. It's a fight. It's like 3 fights, and I'm not particularly invested in any of them. It's fine.
All right.
Okay.
We have one more book. You know that, right?
I know.
Okay.
I know. I gotta go through the super chats.
Okay.
Though.
I just want to make sure. I read it.
I'm sorry. Dex Baker, Happy New Year, guys. What's one B or C list character you'd love to see blow up in 2023? I'm always championing Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner has gotten his day in the sun, but
Husk. No,
Husk would be great.
Rintra, man.
Yeah,
bring him back.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke about Danny Ketch.
Wouldn't it be nice? I think Sleepwalker could use a revival. Yeah, Danny Ketch would be great. Are you kidding me?
He's not really. I don't know if people think of him as B or C.
He is.
He is.
Nikki T, I don't get why 90s nostalgia happening all over comics. Why remind me of the darkest age in comics? Also, I was born in the 90s and I don't like it. Well, you missed out because there's some really great stuff that came out in the
No,
90s.
there are. You know what it is? Like there are. It's a mixed bag. Just
Yeah.
like every generation of comics there are, and it's really easy to. We joke about the stereotypes all the time.
Yep.
It's so easy to focus on that, but there's so many great things that also came out of it, and they may not be highlighting them all right now.
No, well, because they don't really. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole mixed bag, man.
But I mean, you just gotta look at Vertigo.
Yeah, that's it.
Late 80s into 90s. Come on.
Yeah, independent comics and Vertigo and the formation of Image, just as far as like making a publisher that would only like let creators own their creations.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff,
may
like-
not love the books that came out of it, but without that, Image wouldn't have ended up what it is today.
You also get like high quality cardstock comic books and like glossy covers and
Mhm.
better coloring tactics and leading into the mature storytelling that you come to expect and demand from comic books now. You don't have that without 90s.
No, but again, it's not without its problems.
No, yeah, no.
let's
There's
not-
there's lots of problems.
Yeah.
And finally, we read Dark Crisis 7 Infinite Earths #7
That's
from Josh Williamson and Daniel Sampere. Worst cover of all of them. And when I say that, I mean I love this cover, and I think that Nightwing looks great. But this is a promo image, not a cover. This is an advertisement, not a
Yeah.
cover. This is a poster, not a cover. Dark Crisis Infinite Earths is not called Dawn of the DCU.
Well, I mean, they already changed it one time.
Might not want to change it in the last issue. I don't understand. No. This is a promo. Anyway, it's one of my few problems with this issue.
Sure.
The art's great. The story is really well executed in terms of story or in terms of art. I think that Sampere nails it. A lot of great, like, beautiful sequences. Nightwing and Deathstroke and their fight actually happening like in like the
Sure, but except they're like there's like 12,000 artists on this book,
yeah,
and it's really jarring when it shifts,
that's true.
and some of it's real weak at the end.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
no, the 12,000 artists are like in the at the end, like it's just a bunch of like random stuff at the end. Like we get a couple of sequences, but that's
well,
it.
yeah, I mean, like they were great, but like it is jarring AF in my opinion.
I don't remember that really happening.
Oh, okay.
Like the the huge.
No, I mean like the big bombastic fight is awesome.
The quiet, like dark kind of like
it's all,
mindscape
that
fight.
stuff's all awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is.
There's a couple of moments there where
Yeah.
I don't like these wrap ups.
No, the wrap.
I didn't like. I was like,
oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. That's after the book's over.
and it is, but the book isn't over.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this.
Yeah, and it like I'm like, what? Like we did all the awesome action sequences, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's interesting because like this is not unlike actually very much unlike its predecessors. There's Deathstroke. The book should be over. Issue 6 was the end, and then Deathstroke's like, "What about me? Because I'm actually the villain of the book." And we were like, "What?" And then they fight him, and he unleashes the Dark Army or whatever on like the heroes, and Dick Fates is Deathstroke. Deathstroke like takes him in, and he's like, "You're mine." And then like they fight each other on the Mindscape, and it's this like beautiful kind of like sequence of like classic comic books. But then Black Adam is super important and cool because he's gonna have a movie that's gonna make $1 billion. I promise you, he's totally gonna make $1 billion. That movie's gonna be the next phase of the DC universe. Oh wait, no. Well, anyway, he shares his power with the whole Justice League, and then everybody gets to be Black Adam for a minute. Awesome. And by awesome, I mean like it happens.
Yes.
Literally, it happens. And I feel like I've
Black
seen.
Canary is really tall for no reason.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this already.
Yes.
The sequence where like a character. Oh, right, that's right. Thor 4.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ugh. Boy, you know who could have used Thor doing that? The Avengers at the end of Endgame.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. He didn't. He knew he could do that.
It's
but didn't do
easier
it.
to say we're children.
Maybe.
Doesn't take as much. They got little bodies.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'm glad he did because that movie was really rewarding. So anyway,
oh my gosh! Wow, you went from like we're having a great time to like.
At what point?
Just now.
Oh, okay. No, we're having fun. Yeah. So what matters is I don't, like
So
Nightwing, like, his heart grows 3 sizes that day, and like his will and his
There-
Deathstroke's like, if I corrupt you, I corrupt the DC universe, and he doesn't, so he wins.
there's a lot happening in this book, and here are some things that I appreciated.
Okay.
One, the first issue or the last issue echoes the first issue.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's like
The light and the dark.
Well,
Yeah.
no, he talks like he does part of the speech that he does at the beginning of the first issue.
Yes.
Like, there are literal parallels from the first issue to this issue, and I'm
Yes,
like,
yes.
okay,
That's right.
that's cool, right?
Yeah.
What I'm not digging on is the okay. So I'm one of those people who I definitely like a book in which it's like, hey, let's figure this out, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, it's a mystery. I'm like, it's okay if it doesn't have a solid ending, right? This book has a lot of things where I'm like, I'm not sure what you're telling me happened in this. Because, Deathstroke's like, oh man, Pariah actually wasn't
corrupted by he was not talking to the
great darkness. It was actually just him, and then but like it wasn't just the tip, it was just the tip of the great darkness. I'm like, so wait, the great darkness exists.
The great darkness does exist, and it is out there. And all the things we said about it is true. Like, it doesn't care about you. It only wants like quiet.
Right.
But it at no point was actually in this story, except for the last 2 chapters.
Except that they say that
Pariah like kind of tapped.
They're like, no, but he like tapped into just a little bit,
just like a fraction.
Yeah. I'm like, so like he did,
right?
Then.
He did, and then went nuts, and then like the great darkness, I guess, just left him alone.
Right, and at the end, though, they act like they're like, hey, actually, none of that matters, and who cares?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'd say the whole book says that you're trying to make me care.
Yes.
So then I'm like, wait, is Josh trying to say like it doesn't effing matter? What actually matters here is that we're talking about legacy.
Yes.
Because like Deathstroke is the villain here, and he's like, I'm legacy, and I'm like, wait, the villain of this book is legacy. But you're also
the strength of this book is legacy. The lesson of this book is about legacy.
Yeah, and at the same time, like, is the lesson of this book like, listen, these new heroes aren't so bad.
Yeah,
and like when we're ready, they're gonna be here.
Yeah,
and like maybe the problem was we weren't ready just yet, and our main guys are here for right now.
Yes,
but we're in good hands.
Yes, that is definitely the lesson of the story.
That lesson isn't that like legacy's bad. Don't make your villain be like, I'm legacy and I'm definitely the villain. And then be like, actually, Dad, you just really misunderstood.
Yeah.
This ending was so like simultaneously exactly what I expect from a crisis, right?
Yes.
Where I'm just like, what the hell is happening? Look at all this stuff's coming together. Hey, did you read this book about, was it Dr. Light?
Yeah.
No. Too bad,
because she's really important and she does this whole thing with the multiverse, and boom.
She's gonna team up with all the Flashes because the Flashes got to run so fast. And I'm like, okay, bingo, crisis thing right there. They're gonna run along the Morrison map. Got it. Because they're gonna contain it.
Well, they have to contain it and repair it.
Yes.
And then, like, yes, there is like an inner 52, but also there's an infinite Earth multiverse.
Yes.
The infinite universe that the infinite multiverse that Pariah created.
Yes.
Exists, is stable, and is expanding.
Sure. And like, listen, that's all super important to know for continuity purposes going forward. We all want to know that. I think my problem is that I'm trying to understand what the message is, because I feel like Josh has a message here.
Yeah.
And I find it to be quite muddy.
Yes. And what's frustrating is like, there is no good reason for it to be muddy because there's only one person writing it, and there's only pretty much one person drawing it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I'm not 100% that now that we finish this, because remember, I'm the person who's just like, I don't like this.
Yes.
And I think it's bad. I still don't like this. And I think Pariah was a waste of a character who I don't think merited all of this fanfare or anything, because he did nothing but simultaneously did something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like suggestions were made to Josh.
I wonder because
it's like,
well, certainly there is, because at the end Black Adam looks exactly like The Rock.
I didn't notice that at all, but
he
I wasn't
gives the
paying
people's
attention.
eyebrow.
Oh, does he really? Oh my god. Okay. Well, but you know what I mean? Like, and it's like this does a lot. Like
Mhm.
this is a big thing.
Yes.
This does a big thing.
Right, but like nobody needs to listen to it or use it, and it's not
And
gonna
that's
like,
exactly it. Like it's there, and it doesn't like go like, oh, and then we killed this character, and like that's it. They're never coming back.
yeah.
Ever. Like, no, it doesn't do any of that. It's just like it's supposed to be, I think, like a fun event that like brings back the infinite multiverse that people liked or didn't like
Yes.
or whatever. And it's meant to talk about legacy, but it's almost as though he was told not to do that.
Quite possibly.
I don't know. And
I got the impression that like, because I recall in the multiple episodes that Josh has been on with our channel that he approached it from the perspective of, and it was before, I think they were working on it around the time when the multiverse was being explored in like the MCU and stuff. He had pitched well before that, like we are the like we're the ones with the multiverse. We're the ones who embrace it. We had the infinite earths. We should be the ones to have multiverse. And DC's like, we don't care about that. It's not very interesting. And then MCU did some stuff. And they're like, what about multiverse? And he's like, I've got something for you. And he wanted to talk about the multiverse. And all the stuff like from Justice League Incarnate led up to and explained that like multiverse is important. And that, but I didn't really get the impression that it was, because there's nothing really new or penetratively insightful said about the multiverse, except for the fact that like it is the home to many stories that mean something to someone, but so is the like main universe and its myriad timelines. So like, what are you really saying? And this, the end result, because like there are some crises where like nothing, like the universe isn't changed. We're not rebooting anything. In this one, we're not rebooting. The reality is what we're getting is the multiverse, and we're getting an expanded infinite multiverse. So like, what they should have done, if I may, I wish that they had done this.
Okay.
If this had been the beginning of a new rollout of Elseworlds comic books.
Oh, that'd be freaking dope.
Like, we are going to and now DC is going to explore the infinite multiverse by like getting people. We're going to get Donny Cates, and we're going to get Chip Zdarsky, and we're going to get Tom Taylor, and all these other million different writers and artists, and people who maybe have never written for DC before, or maybe who who have no reason to be writing for DC, but we just lured them away because they could tell any story they want, because it's like the 90s all over again. Legacy, to tell create their own universe, make their own Elseworld.
They don't want to call it Elseworlds.
I know.
We call it Lotum, Legends of the Infinite Multiverse.
There we go, Lotum. I mean, like, but if they were like, we're like the One Bad Day initiative, where they're like, how about this? We rip off Killing Joke 12 times. That's it. I mean, like, that's what One Bad Day is. What if we rip off the Killing Joke with like all the rest of the villains? And it's like, look, I sung its praises. I thought it's a great idea, because you're never gonna do that. Like, whether you want to do Killing Joke for like Bane or not, you're never gonna do that, because it's never gonna reach that, because you're doing it as a marketing ploy and not from a contractual requirement to make Alan Moore just write another Batman story because he's supposed to before he leaves, which is what the Killing Joke was. But it ended up being what it is. In this, it's like, we're gonna bring back the Elseworlds. Like, we're gonna bring back our imaginary stories, and that was what this rolled out into.
Right.
That'd be something, because the end result is the infinite multiverse.
Right.
But if only Josh talks about it, or if all we get is that one $10 Stan Lee comic book, then it's really not worth it. Or we didn't really get anything, did we? I mean, we see, and I think the lesson is about what you said, where it's like, that the next generation is here waiting for us if anyone ever bothers to introduce them.
I guess that's what it is. It's so, I don't know. It's so strange. It's so strange. Yeah. And there's that scene right at the end where like
with Amanda Waller.
No, oh well, no, yeah.
That was great. I thought that was awesome.
It's pretty good. No, with all of them talking in the room, like Zatanna's there.
Yeah.
We just had it up a second ago. This is where I was like, what? Because it's like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute.
The Great Darkness is asleep again, and it's unconcerned with
or maybe
us.
it was always asleep.
Right. Well, yeah. And then, it's like, and he like tapped into something of it, but like, and then one of the characters is like, but like, what do we tell everybody? It's like, well, listen, if we want to tell them, we can tell them it's the great darkness if it helps them ease their worries. I'm like, but it
is, isn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Maybe that's what he's saying. He's like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter how we got here. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
And the infinite multiverse is back. So get over it. And Amanda Waller is going to work with like 2 different peacemakers and some other characters.
It's Peace Wrecker.
Oh, Peace Wrecker.
Yeah, no. It's 2 different peacemakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Batman and Dick Grayson, like, they're gonna start something new too, maybe, or whatever. I don't know. Because the idea is they're gonna retire the League.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a new like idea in town, which is actually interesting because we talked about the irrelevancy of the Justice League in an episode of Back Issues that's coming out pretty soon.
Yes.
Where it's like, hey,
which we accidentally did like a 25-minute show.
Yeah, just about that. But yeah.
So does that mean there's no more Justice League book?
There is no more Justice League book.
Oh.
No, the book's canceled for now.
Okay.
They're retiring that series for a little while.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, and then they tease the future, Failsafe and Neza, and like Amanda Waller's like, I told you, and didn't I tell you? And when did I tell you? A long time ago.
Yeah, these guys.
And what did I say was going to happen? Exactly what just happened. But yeah, so she's like, we're gonna kill all the metahumans. Like that's what we're gonna do.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, that's a neat idea.
A Batman character and like a bizarro Superman Batman hybrid.
Yeah, I remembered. I knew who that was beforehand.
But like that costume before, I had no idea. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. It's over.
It's over. Yeah, it's fine. Like it's. I think that there's some sequences in this series, in this book, that are like, this is the DC universe. Look at the DC universe.
Yeah.
From one place, from the balcony. Here's the DC universe, looking down at the whole world. Because normally when you're reading any comic book set in the shared universe, you're reading it from the perspective of like one vantage point: Batman, Superman, Flash, etc. In this case, with a crisis, with a big team book like this, you get to look at the whole damn thing and get to see the sum of its parts and go like, what is this universe? And I think that this did actually a pretty good job of like from the balcony looking down at the DC universe and going, that is what the DC universe is. It's big, it's messy, it's complicated, it's full of different patchworks from all different publishers that still yet come together and work somehow and inspire and retain their histories while also creating new things. Superficially speaking, I think that that's what the DC universe is and does. And I think the Dark Crisis does that by also being like by providing you with moments that are like, this is what most people who love DC think of when they think of DC.
Yeah.
On a personal level, you think of moments of character, but for the universe and multiverse, you think of bombastic fight scene, Superman versus Doomsday, Nightwing versus Deathstroke, Black Adam versus everybody, that kind of thing. You're thinking of these big bombastic fights. This book provided those fights and it provided those moments. It's not about fights, but it is because it's a comic book about superheroes.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is about those moments, and it's showcasing you those moments for those people who are like, I love DC and here's why. Or here's a poster that represents why I love DC so much. And I think that since Justice League is a dead book and DC isn't in the habit of making events that resemble Crisis or even Secret Invasion, and I'm saying a Marvel book because like it's a book where all the heroes go on one side and all the bad guys go on that side and they fight.
Yeah,
that's literally the end of Secret Invasion. I could have said Secret Wars, but I should have. But you know what? That happens in both of those books. But DC so rarely gives you those moments. It's usually look at Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman saving the day or doing something important. It's not the universe getting together and fighting evil. I think Dark Crisis did a good job of being like, this is what that universe is. This is what DC is. And sometimes we lose sight of showing you that. Now, obviously, Snyder, I think, thought he was doing that with Death Metal. But I think it failed to do that. Like, I think that it was doing that for his audience, and I think he was doing that for the new audience. but he wasn't doing it for DC fans.
Mhm.
And I think that this was for that. And while it was a mess and it was at times incoherent and it was like seemingly substantiveless, I also think that like when I look back on this whole series and I read it, I was like I was never mad at like what it did,
Mhm.
because it was like this is it. This is, you're looking at the whole universe, and sometimes that's a mess, you know? And sometimes it's not pretty, but you're seeing those moments and and then the whole universe kind of getting together and doing something. Like I think Crisis on Infinite Earths is a mess, and I avoided reading it for my entire comic book reading career in the 90s and
Yeah.
2000s, because I was like, I'd pick it up, turn a page, and go just freak out. That's what this is too,
No, it is.
but with fewer characters, because
I-
Crisis had Infinite Earths.
Yes.
And yet, I also think that it has value. I wonder if this does. I don't know if it provides much more than holding the hand of an old DC fan and being like let's take a tour of something you already know. You know, like taking an old
It
person
is
and showing them, giving them a grand tour of the town they grew up
right,
in.
and I get it's doing that, but I think it's just, you know, with it not having such a bombastic change. I mean, like it's funny to say that that's not a big change, and or
Yeah.
like literally bringing back thousands of like millions of universes.
Yeah.
like potential an
Infinite.
infinite amount of
Yeah.
of multiverses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to act as though it's not a true huge change,
Yes.
but without it feeling like it's a really big change, it feels like it's just diluting
Yes. Well,
events of this size.
the reality is,
There was a great thing in there that we mentioned too. Did
yes,
you read
we
that?
talked about
We
this.
talked literally about
Yeah.
that.
No, I'm sorry, not that one.
Not
Sorry.
that one. Scroll down.
here we go.
That one.
Yeah, we were doing a Justice League book for the next episode, for 2 episodes from now, as back issues, and we said that exact thing.
Yeah.
That this Justice League can't be a monthly book.
Yeah. So yay, that's awesome. But yeah, this I I agree that this is for
And it's not for old
fans.
people. It's
it's
just
just for fans who are paying attention to the continuity, fans who remember this stuff.
fans who just, I think it's fans who want to see.
Yeah.
It's like if they were to, you know, it's like if they were to do a book where Spider-Man and Mary Jane were married and went on a date, and all they did was like occasionally he would like fight a villain in that issue. You know, like we've seen it a million times. It doesn't bring anything new to the table. It doesn't add anything to the proceedings,
Mhm.
but it does make a handful of people very happy.
And I think that the problem here really comes down to, I'm doing what this issue did. I'm going to call back to when we were talking about issue 1.
No, please do. Yeah,
The issue is that for me that you called it Dark Crisis.
it shouldn't have been a crisis. It just and here's my response to that. There shouldn't be any crises. Should not exist.
Well,
Like
that's a totally different conversation.
the idea. Well, no, and this is proof. Like Dark Crisis Infinite Earths is like the final nail in the coffin, despite the fact that we are now like practically 3 crises removed from Final Crisis, that says it's time to stop with the crises, because Crisis on Infinite Earths was literally a publishing decision to fix an actual problem that they felt like they had, and to sell more books because they could like actually reset the continuity. I get it. I respect it. And it's this thing, and it's barely readable, and it's George Perez cramming 1,000 bits of detail into 12 panels per page, and it's just a mess. I appreciate it, but it is a mess. But it's like a necessary evil. But 0 Hour, Infinite, Final, Dark, Death, Metals, Convergences,
Just Heroes in Crisis?
Heroes and Identity, Heroes, they just use the name.
Yeah.
Identity and Heroes are just like continuity shifts, or
Sure.
status quo shifters.
Yeah.
That are also mysteries.
So is that what this is?
No.
This is a crisis.
This is a crisis because the infinite because it is multiversal. The
Right,
multiverse
okay.
is rebooted. But at the same time, like, we don't need them anymore. Like, we've outgrown crises. And maybe like in my interview with Josh and Dan Samper, Dan was talking about, he's like, I get to do a crisis. And I think that's really cool for him because he's a new talent and he brings some really great stuff to the table. I think that celebrating that we are even doing a crisis is a mistake. Because crises are, if you have a crisis, it means you fucked up. Like, at the end of the day, I think that's what it is. Like, I think
I can see that.
having a crisis is basically an admission of overcomplicating your universe. You should not be celebrating it. It's like celebrating a renovation of your home. Like,
no, that is something to be celebrated.
But
though,
like, if you,
because that's not always done like that. That can be sometimes done to be like,
to like well, and that's true. Actually, that's true.
To make room, or
right?
Like,
but if you just had a renovation 2 years ago, then you screwed up.
I'd say
you don't do it to celebrate. You're not like, it's the 10-year anniversary of the time we renovated our house. Let's renovate it again. Like, I don't like that's where it's like it's excessive and it's like a waste of money. But no, you're right. Like, you know what? Sometimes you do need to renovate your house.
Sometimes you have to.
And that's where like a retcon comes in.
Sure.
But maybe not a crisis. There's a lot of baggage with crises.
Yeah.
And they mean different things, and maybe they don't mean anything. I admire what Josh was doing because I think that it was an undertaking that was never going to please everyone.
No, and
I
know he came at it from a place of passion and love.
I think he really did. You know what I mean? I don't think he was like, we got to do it. I don't think he was pushing him. I think it was just like, the name did not fit.
No.
The fact that it is a crisis at all is unnecessary. And then that's all I can say about it.
And then you put Pariah in it, which is just a knock against you immediately. I'm sorry.
I think Pariah was a fine inclusion. I understand why he chose Pariah.
I don't. I also don't really understand why Deathstroke represents legacy, but
he does not. Or if he does, he does only in a way that requires too much context and explanation for it to be effective.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, I think, was a dud. Unfortunately,
I'm interested to see because inevitably this is going to come around on back issues, and you'll be forced to reread it.
Yes, in the context of the last 3 stories.
In the context of the last 3 stories, with time have passed and as a whole. And I cannot wait to see what your insights are on it then.
No, yeah, totally.
Because like you were definitely one of those people who like if you change your mind about something, you don't pretend like that's that.
Yeah, I don't go like, oh no, like no. I'm planning on doing a redux of 0 Year because I was like, perhaps I was too harsh.
There you go.
You know, I'm doing a redux on Dark Knight Strikes Again this year because I think I might have been too harsh.
Okay.
It's really bad. It's a really bad comic book. But I'm not angry about it anymore.
Okay.
And that will give a new insight. So like, just, if you hate me for my opinions, just wait. Maybe I'll come around.
You never know.
It's like 10 years,
We're
but
all human.
Let's
do that one.
What?
Yeah, I think we did that too.
We did that one. So, Nick Smith, hi CP, was having a bad day, but you guys cheered me up. Yay. Who is a villain you think deserves to get their own comic book or event?
A villain?
Doom, but he already did. It's called Secret Wars.
Doom is a good answer. Though.
Doc Ock had his own status quo. Carnage had one.
That's a great question.
Yeah, what a fantastic question. Tough though. How does one gauge one's response?
Oh my gosh.
Physical prowess, keen detection skills, the ability to banter well with superheroes. Yeah. The Emperor Joker, that's a story. Dormammu.
You think Dormammu deserves?
No, I don't.
You know who I wouldn't mind having an event just because they haven't done it in a minute.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Sure.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
He was involved with some stuff, but
yeah, you have a Nightmare pitch.
I do actually.
The name changes. Wow, off the rack at a later time. This is going to be a time going forward. Happy New Year from Canada.
No, this is a special event.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Why are
Since
we
we're
up?
already 2 hours. Why are we up? We were busy. The whole holiday we did. It's funny. We're still reeling from having like 3 like Christmases in a row, basically.
We had 3 Christmases in a row, and then we hosted New Year's Eve and day.
And we had days in between, but
it wasn't a lot of days.
It wasn't a lot. It was like 3 days, maybe less. And so, I used those 3 days to do laundry and like vacuum. It was like,
and we like to give the time between Christmas and
New Year's
off to
Ben
team.
and Ethan and you. I'd like to try. So you know, oh crap, I gotta pay them. But yeah, no, I mean,
But
like,
so like this week, the travels still continue for some of the ComicPop team. People
Yep.
aren't going to be available, and so we figured today was actually the day, which was normally off the rack.
Yep.
And so we made it work. We were able to film off the we were
Back
filming
issues?
back issues.
we wanted to bring back GBU because it's been 2 months, so we shot that too.
That, and then I was like, we went home, had ordered Chinese food, left it on the porch, and
then
reheated
ate it
it,
and came back.
and then I was like, you want to do off the rack?
Yeah, no, I wanted.
Because I don't have work tomorrow.
Well, and this show is a staple of this channel and of
Yeah.
this network, and we're really like
we didn't want it to.
we didn't want to lose it. We don't
Yeah.
want to lose you. We want to remind you, like, we still exist.
Yeah.
This is a show because, like, look, the last week nothing came out from
Yeah.
this channel, and that's why I did a couple of those shorts that reminded you Off the Rack exists. But it was just we needed to do it. We need to do it soon. So that's why we did that.
So we appreciate you guys staying up
Yeah.
with us.
Just dropping by to say hi. Keep up the good work, says Iron's Comics. Well, thank you very much, Iron. Sean D. Hey, yous guys and gal. Hey, Sean.
Hey, what's up?
Dan V. Sal, you were completely right about World's Finest, and the final page blew my mind. Your interview with Wade was awesome. It only improves that old story. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. I saw your comment from before. Yeah, I was like, good to know. All right. Like, I'm glad that it, like, I wasn't overselling it because I really was, like, really surprised, and I was really happy to see, like, that it, that it had that kind of impact.
Exactly. I think we're good. I think I caught up with them.
Yeah, I think so.
I did it.
So let's recommend some comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. Batman 131, obviously. Yay. New period.
I just love yay.
Yay. I'm looking forward
This
to
is still
Zdarsky.
Chip.
And yeah, Chip.
not the Green Lantern.
No, not Chip. The Green Lantern. Spider-Man number 4. I don't know. Probably not. I'll read it just to see, but I'm probably off. Gold Goblin number 3. I didn't read number 2, so I got to read number 3. I got to read number 2 and then 3. And of course, Gotham City Year 1 number 4 is just incredible. You have to be reading this book. So before this book is covered on the next episode of Off the Rack, go read Gotham City 1 through 3, please. For the love of God. It's just such a good book.
Did I miss a Shang-Chi book?
It was last week.
Crap!
And it's the end.
Damn it! It's not. There's another book starting.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
It's right there. Shoot!
Shang-Chi. Oh my God! They
I
changed.
can't believe I missed it.
Yeah, no, it's just this week. Just literally this week.
Oh, I'm so mad at
Yeah,
myself.
Shang-Chi.
Well, then we're gonna do a wrap up next week on Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
guys.
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings number 6.
I can't believe I missed that.
I was so sad because I heard because there was nothing left. I was like, oh, they ended it at 6. I guess it got canceled.
No, it didn't get canceled.
Got transitioned to another book.
It did.
Well, good, I guess. I didn't get a chance to read Murder World Spider-Man, which I really wanted to. There was a bunch of books I wanted to read.
They're saying a story comes out this week, but didn't.
That was this week's.
Oh,
book.
this was this. Oh, okay. Whoops.
Yeah, that was the 28th.
Yeah, his story I gotta catch up on. Are you done? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh, you done?
Are you done? You good with that? Y'all finished there, sir?
Trying to be.
Thanks a lot. No. The later it gets, the dumber I get.
Dark Knights of Steel is coming out. I haven't read like most of this book anymore, but I do like it. I think it's well read. It's well done. And they established it, I think, in Dark Crisis number 7 that like it's part of the Intimate Multiverse, so it's got a number.
Ooh, all right.
So is Amalgam, by the way.
What? Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah. Come on, Josh, make that happen. If you make that happen out of this,
Oh my God! Technically, there's an Earth with Marvel and DC on it.
I will eat everything I said. Legitimately.
Oh, if they could figure out a way to make, well, it should have been. That's the only crisis I'll accept anymore. Is Secret Crisis, the
There you
Marvel
go.
DC crisis.
That's fine. X-Men Red 10, number 10 is coming out. Al Ewing, Stefano Caselli on this. Let's do this. Let's find out. Storm's gonna be fighting. What's his name?
Yeah.
What the hell's his name? The Vulcan.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gonna come to me. There's a Scarlet Witch series coming out by Steve Orlando. We'll see about that.
Oh, all right.
Art by Sarah Pacelli. I
Oh.
haven't seen that name in a while.
No, it's weird.
But it's been a while since Scarlet Witch has had her own series. A lot's been going on with her, but we haven't seen her since.
No, not since the Hellfire, whatever.
Yeah,
Trial of
Magneto
Magneto.
and all that. So we'll see what's going on with that.
Mhm.
Steve Orlando's also on Marauders. I don't know. I haven't been reading. I haven't been keeping up with this.
No.
I'll be
We
honest
didn't
with you.
cover Detective because I said I was dropping the book, and I did.
Yeah, I will say though, this is Psylocke in it, and I really like what they're doing with her and Hellions. I don't think it's necessarily the same thing. But
No.
also Shang-Chi, Master of the Ten Rings, #1.
Yay.
Written by Jean Lewin Young. Such a nice person.
Isn't he?
Good writer. Such a nice
We got to get him on the
being.
show too. There's so many great creators that are out there, maybe wink. But we need to get on the show and
Yes,
chat with them.
absolutely. With art this time by Michael Yig. I
Yeah.
don't know how to say their last name. I
Could be
apologize.
Could be YG.
Yes. I'll have to try to find. I usually what I try to do is find someone else.
An interview with them or
an interview
something?
with them, or like if they have their own channel, if they say their name, I try to find that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about their art. I really love Marcus Toe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where the shift is. If they're changing artists, I do appreciate that this team or this book tends to do it when they make a changeover.
Yes, when it's a new series.
Freaking
Smart.
love that
Yeah,
so
I don't know
much.
whose
It is
decision that is,
it's
but
genius. I don't know. I don't know if it's the editor. I don't know if it's Young himself, but it is such a smart decision. Like, hey, you're going to be on the book until at least the end of this, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm down. And then if you're going to leave, that's when you can leave.
Darren Shan, is that you?
I don't know, Darren, but like you're doing good work, man.
Yeah.
Doing good work. I've been loving Shang-Chi. If you haven't heard me sing its praises, please just go and grab the other volumes of this series.
Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes. I think that's how
And
it
then
goes.
this one.
And then this one. It's just I think the first one's just Shang-Chi. And no, it's Shang-Chi and
Shang-Chi and then it's those characters. I think it's Shang-Chi versus the Marvel
no,
Universe.
I don't think so. I thought it was about his family. But I could be very incorrect about that. I don't remember. All I'm saying is just read all of Jean Lewin Young's run on this.
Yes.
Because not only is the art utterly spectacular in everything that he's written for it so far, so hopefully this continues the trend.
Yep.
But the story's just been so freaking consistent, like just so spectacularly consistent. I can't comprehend it, especially for a character who I was picking it up because it was a new #1. Obviously, I enjoyed the movie. I was like, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm not really a new comic reader, but I'm new to the character.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing that they think happens.
Can you get me into this character?
Yeah.
And keep me there? And the answer is 100% yes.
Yeah.
I've easily read over 15 issues of this.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. It is that.
No, here it is. It's Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Oh no, hang on. Yeah, Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe is one issue. That's a trade. That's the name of the trade paperback that collects the Shang-Chi series, which I believe
it should be issues 1 through 12. Yeah, so it collects the Marvel versus the Marvel Universe and then it goes into the family.
Yeah, that is called Shang-Chi Volume 2.
Okay. So it's
started in 2021. Jean Lewin Young and
DK Ruan initially, and then Marcus Toe inevitably.
Yes. Then there's also an Infinity comic called Shang-Chi Brothers and Sisters.
He wrote that?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't read that.
That came out in November.
Dang. Okay.
That's 8 issues.
Check that out then.
Then there's Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
That just ended.
And that's 6 issues.
And then we're getting this.
Yes.
Which is Shang-Chi, Master of the Ten Rings. Kind of a spoiler for me.
I guess he figured it out.
There was no way he wasn't going to. So good for him. Not upset about that. I'm so excited.
True.
I just love it. And again, I literally got to see him at Baltimore Comic-Con. And seriously, what a nice human being.
I know.
Like just a nice human being. Like most of the creators we meet are very nice people, but some people you're just like, just good energy.
Yeah.
Just good guy who's sitting there, felt bad. He was just there. And like, it's always harder, I think, for writers.
Yes.
To be at those cons.
Right. Because how do we, you're just sitting there like,
the artist comes, they've got the whole setup, they got like
their
a million
posters
books, they got the sketching, the whole thing going on. The writer's like, hello,
I wrote the thing, and you could probably find it in one of those bins.
You know what? When it comes to comics, it's really easy to get behind the artist, and you know me, I love art. I think there's like something so beautiful about just art on its own, but like comics is such a special medium in which it's like a perfect marriage between the two worlds. You can't really have one without the other. You do have artists, of course, who can write, but you gotta give some love to your writers, guys, because those artists, as much as they can tell a story, writers have a special set of skills.
That's true.
100%, and they are artists in their own rights. So like, go say hi to them, even if they can't sell you a sketch or anything like that. Go say hi.
They'll sign something for you.
Sometimes they're super nice.
Yeah.
Most of the time there.
Rob K, Off the Rack Nights. Glad to see you guys again. My comics just got to the store yesterday for the past 3 weeks due to winter weather, so I've got some catching up to do.
All right.
Good luck to you. Enjoy your books. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for dealing with the audio sync issues. Hopefully those will be cleared up pretty soon. Not sure why that happened. It could have been the time. It could have been StreamYard doing an update because it did.
We appreciate you.
But we appreciate you sticking around. It's good to see at least the majority of you did. Yes, yeah. God bless Tiffany.
No.
God bless me. It's Lex Luthor at the end of that Public Enemies movie.
Oh yeah.
God bless America. God bless me. Clancy Brown, man, he's so great. But anyway, thank you so much to my intrepid co-host Tiffany for being here today and for offering her fantastic insight. Thank you everybody for watching this show, subscribing, liking the video, and telling folk about the channels. We're very lucky to have you. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you guys next time with all new episode of Off the Rack, and of course with more here on this channel. I'm very excited. We're going to get some more interviews. We're going to get hopefully a new conversation, more evergreen kind of conversation show that I'm looking forward to trying out with the team. That'll be when they get back to basics. Ethan's leaving for 2 weeks. Ben's not gonna be around every day, so like we're gonna
make, trust me, there will still be shows.
There will still be shows you're not even gonna notice on back issues and these shows, but we won't be like hitting the ground running with like a plethora of new shows until February is going to be where we hit our stride, but like, awesome. But January has some great stuff. I'm really looking forward to this week's back issue. It's going to be so stupid. And it's so silly. And I just picked it because I was like, well, you know what? We did Death Metal and then Flashpoint Beyond. Here's this thing that I swore we'd never do. So,
oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
But thank you all so much. We'll see you guys next time. So long, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.